To be honest, it don't make sense. I mean, it makes sense, but it don't make sense. You know what I'm saying to you? Because when you're in a place of doing something stupid, and not thinking through everything you're doing, this is usually the result. And then when you're probably manipulating as well, this is usually the result. You know what I'm saying to you? And I think obviously just listening to what he says as well about him being 25, he didn't. It's like you're not thinking it all the way through. But I'm not even talking about the fact you're 25. You're not thinking all the way through. And if you are thinking all the way through, you know we got to be honest. Sometimes you don't know what you're doing, but there's consequences, and that's the sad thing about it. Sometimes you don't know what you're doing, but there's consequences. Ignorance is actually not a free pass to stupidity that we do, and that's including myself. You know what I'm saying to you? So, you know, him saying about the child situation. You're right. Everybody's now involved in a situation, but it's meant to be a quiet situation. So at that point, what did you tell them? What story did you tell everybody? Did you say you were a sperm donor? Okay, if you said you're a sperm donor, then when you obviously didn't let everybody know, are you letting people know that, listen, I'm changing my position, I'm actually becoming a father? Like, what are you telling people? What you're trying to do here? Because it is confusing in some sense as to what he was trying to achieve in that instance.
Yeah, I'm puzzled because I would think this is something, if y'all just want to keep it as just a donor, I'm just going to be the uncle or goddad in general cases, since him and Brian's close friends and stuff like that. It would just stay between us. We all make this agreement and just stay between us, because that would be the easiest, cleanest way to keep this lie going. And the only day that the child will possibly find out, which will still work in the favor because I'm now playing the uncle, is if the child needs donation of blood. Something happens, God forbids, and the child needs me to give up a blood or organ or something like that, because we are linked by saying I'm an uncle. I can still pass off this lie. But now you're telling the grandma and the mom and all of this to deny feeling like your actual grandmother to your actual grandbaby and just say, hey, this is your uncle, not your daddy. This your uncle, Tyler, every time I bring him around. I'm asking too many people to be involved in this lie. It was just really crazy to me. Just for me to turn around a little bit later and fight for actual custody, because now I'm proving that this was all a lie and a scam in the first place when I start to fight Deshaun. My guy is a mess. So that's mostly that part right there with the ex or whatnot. So I'm gonna jump over to him fighting for custody with Bry, because this part kind of took me out too. I'm like, what are we doing? Let me see. I want to make sure. Okay, I think about right here should be good.
And so no emotional connection. When did the relationship with her, Bri, and her wife go awry? Bri and Deshauna, when did that go awry?
So I don't know the exact date on that, but shortly after, from my understanding, at first, her wife up and left and just went to California to go be with a guy. After talking to Bri, and this is the other thing, character assassination against me. And it sucks that it's coming from a person that you've always protected.
Right.
Bri was physically assaulting her wife, and her wife had moved to leave. And when
Which is what Deshauna said. And
so you're always protecting somebody that you know is abusing somebody else. This is what made Seaway's statement so true, that friends will overlook a lot of things that they friends do that they know is morally wrong.
We all do. That's what makes it a friendship.
And I'm not saying that's a bad thing or whatever, because like we said, we all do. It's your friendship or whatever and stuff like that. But you want to sit here and say, like, I can't believe she's doing this character assassination of me when I've been protecting the secret that she has been abusing her wife of the time. But then to just go after that and say, you know what? I know she abuses things, but I'm just going to go ahead and make sure she get the child. I'll make sure she get it. Hold on.
in the video.
And when she left, that's the other part where Deshaun just got a little salty. She wanted full custody of the son that she didn't birth. So she went and filed to take full custody to bring the kid to California. The only way that could have gotten negated.
Now, isn't that interesting? Does he know the truth or does he know the truth? Because he knows that Bri is the one that filed first, right? So he knows already, right? That Bri filed first and then Deshaun filed in retaliation. He knows that because he went to the court to help Bri fight. So you'd have known that Bri actually went first. And I think, so here's what I'm really getting from him. This is what I really feel has happened. We are all liars here. Okay? We are all liars here. And we're all bad people here. Okay? You don't get to out me when you bad as well. You know what I'm saying? Am I bad as with you? You don't get to out me. Why are you outing me? That's what it sounds like when he's trying to say these things, because it's like saying, because we're now outing Bri about her being an abuser, but the reality of the situation is he's only doing that to back his point about Bri. It's not really about to say, oh, you know, Paul Deshaun again. No, it's literally about the fact you're trying to cover your own ass. You get what I'm saying to you? But of course, with amongst thieves, you know, thieves don't necessarily congregate with murderers. There are levels.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know what I'm saying to you? Right? There are levels to what we all as friendships might say, okay, I'm overlooking. That's my friend. I'm overlooked at, right? Like I think we were talking about this on another panel other time as well about this, right? Someone might say for them, their level is don't cheat on their partner. And I'll be like, hey. Listen, just don't let me be around your partner. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know it. I don't want to be around your partner. Whatever you did is what you did. You know what I'm saying to you? And someone else might be like, you know what? That's us. That's my friend. I'm going to stick with them, ride with it 24/7. It doesn't matter what they do. That's my friend. We ride for each other's sins, right? But then there are levels where we get to where I think all of us go, okay, now if you're abusing your kids, yeah, we all going to be like, no, you ain't our friend. Because we all can see that there's a level to what we're doing. At least with an adult, they're a full-flown, fledged individual. But because of the way that we categorize what sin is or what behavior is bad, which I think there should be, because some behaviors are much worse than others. But that it's almost giving that feeling that he's kind of like saying, now he's like, okay, you know, you should be covering me here, Bri. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm being a boss, but you should be covering me because we came together for this bullshito that we are doing. Okay, and you got some bullshito in your closet. You really shouldn't be talking. Because you are part of the madness. And if I really was to talk, that's what he says later on. If I was to really talk, I could really expose some things. So you really shouldn't be talking, which is why I said that this shouldn't be coming out. Because when people have skeletons in the closet, you don't want that person to remove those skeletons. Just keep quiet, take him to ask the court, let him get nailed that way. But now go for it.
Especially if you're not willing to go kamikaze on your own stuff yourself, because that's the only way you're gonna have to out a liar. You gotta out yourself at the same time. You either gotta be squeaky clean or out them at the same time. Because one thing a liar in this capacity gonna do, and that's why they bonded together, is hold your lies with their lies. So the day you decide that you want to come out, we both going out. Hey friend, they got us. They got us.
They got both.
Come out, friend. They got us. They caught us. But this is what stuck out in this part, and that's why I played this part. He says Deshaun was salty. There's two things that actually stuck out of this part. First, he starts off saying that she left for a man, and then follows that up by saying that she was being assaulted by Bri. So did she leave for the man, or did she leave because she was being assaulted? Then the other part is she was salty, so she's filed for full custody. Why would she be salty? What is she salty about? Unless something happened. Yeah, unless something happened to make her salty. So Bri filing for custody to take the baby away when Deshaun said I was trying to get joint custody, and Bri goes and files full custody, that would make her salty. I get that. But then you follow up that comment with for a child she didn't birth. But it's still her child. She signed that birth certificate. It was an agreement for her and Bri to have the baby. So why does it matter if she birthed the child or not? Why are you sounding salty right now while saying this for a child she didn't birth? Sir, you sound real touched for a child you don't even have a connection with. Doesn't matter. That's not your battle. Your agreement was to stay out of it anyway. You're just the uncle. Let them two ladies hash it out in court. Do what y'all got to do. That's y'all baby. But how, for a person, this is what gets me, for a person that has no connection to these kids, why are you so touched by this matter? Unless you have a connection to something else, Bri. You're connected to your friend. But all right, we're going to go ahead. Let him ride out in this lie.
Hated Superman here again. And I showed up and I was like, look, no, just do a DNA test, which they did to prove that he was biologically my kid. And then it stopped her wife from taking it. So that was me protecting my, first of all, I helped my friend. Now I'm protecting my friend.
And screwing yourself in the process.
Both times for her to come out and do all this to me. And
so you stepped up and said,
I'm sorry, that's giving bitter X. That's giving me bitter X for her to do this all to me. You're supposed to just be helping your friend to get her kid because you seen your friend, the life change when that baby come around. That baby brought so much life to Bri and stuff. It helped her through her hard times. And I just wanted to make sure my friend didn't go off the edge by losing her child. Not you do this all to me after I helped you be an abusive wife or whatever and get your kid back. This is wild.
this is my child. And then what? So that would protect her wife from fighting her for custody. Does that automatically dissolve it where they say you have no right to try to get custody of them, or how's that work?
No, so I can't. Legally in Maryland, and I'll pull up the facts for that as well, but any couple that births into that marriage is presumed that those are the two custodial parents.
So you tried to help, but you couldn't help anyway.
Yeah, well, I did help because I was a sperm donor and the wife just backed off. It was going to be a longer lawsuit, and everyone knows it costs money.
Yeah.
So it was who had the most money at a certain point, and she backed off. But again, that was me protecting Bri, so her kid, because her kid was born, or I'll just say Kai, his name's Kai. Kai was born at a time that she was extremely low. He saved her life. And I'm not like their family. I'm not going to go smear them and tell them what she was going to do or was going to do.
Right.
But she was at a very low place and he saved her. So I couldn't stand back as a friend and watch the kid also be taken from her.
Right.
So I stepped in. I never fought for custody. And we'll speak about all of them. I've never fought for custody.
Another truth. He never fought for custody. He don't fight for custody for the first one, and you don't have to fight for the second one, though the second and third is yours. But that's true. You're not fighting for custody because you don't want these kids. You don't want that responsibility. So that's true. But is there there's a child support case out on you? Yeah, that's a total different thing. You don't fight for the rights for these kids, so don't sit here and tell me you don't never have rights because you didn't fight for them. I don't want to hear that. I don't have rights for these kids. I can't make decisions on these kids. You didn't fight for those rights. You just sat here and told us you didn't fight for those rights. So don't try to use that as a weapon against Bri or anything like that. I have no say-so in these kids' life. You have say-so. You're the biological father. You're choosing not to by not executing your rights, by go fighting for your rights.
And I think but that's why I said this interview is gold. Because with someone who lies so profusely, they lie at the most inconvenient points. It's another inconvenient point, right? He went to court, like you said, right, to help Bri get custody. In doing so, he had to put himself forward, right? Now, once again, he hasn't even let us know that, you know what, me and Bri agreed that I'm going to help you, but I'm not being the father of the kid. I'm only doing this to help you. See, he can't even say that again. So was that not his position, maybe? Or maybe he doesn't want to tell that truth. That was actually what's happening. Either way, you're now locked in, right? So now you've gone and fought for the custody of the kid. You actually have rights, right? You have rights. So you can't say you don't have rights. Then the texts were also, we had texts from Bri that were released talking about, do you want to give up the rights? You know, well, I guess that's what I want to do. Wait, bro, you didn't have to give up the rights. You had the rights, and she even asked you, do you want to give out? This is why I said that it's so easy to see he's a liar now, because now he's had time to actually speak, and not Ashley speaking for him, not Bri speaking for him, not Deshaun speaking for him. No, when he comes to speak, he's going to show us that he's a goddamn liar all the way through, and a bad one at that. He hasn't even got his story straight. So if so, my conclusion even from this is, and my question, which I was kept on asking when I was watching this interview, was: so do you want the rights to the kids or what? Do you want access to the kids? Right? Because you keep talking about having rights. So do you want the rights of the kids or not? That's when we're going to see that you're a deadbeat too. Because now you go when you give the real truth about what answer it is, then we know where you stand.
So let's skip up a little bit. We're gonna go here when we get to the twins.
Let me grab my water.
Okay, go ahead, do your thing. Let me see some of y'all comments real quick, because while he go get his water. And welcome y'all here from Kojo's channel as well as mine. I appreciate you all being here. Please like both channels if you can. Like, share, subscribe. Memberships is open to both channels. Kojo's at a higher tier, so his membership is a lot more cheaper than mine, but his membership also grants y'all ways on being in the 100 Club as well. And we do fun lives over there in his members lives. So, make sure y'all hit the members button, subscribe to the channels, like, hit the bell on both of our platforms, please. I am Another Round JS. He is Little Black Book 91. Please do us that favor and hit it on both channels. Okay. Show us love on both channels, because child, we is doing the Lord's work, and all we ask is for your likes in return. Okay. That's the collection plate. Please pass it around. Pass the likes around. Thank you very much. All right, let's get back into it, because he done got his popcorn back. He ready for the show. Let's go.
Whatever it is. So we understand that.
Yeah.
When you look back and the other kids are born, how did these other, so now the ex, did they get a divorce when the wife comes back into play?
No. So all kids were born into a marriage.
In that marriage.
That same exact marriage. All the kids were born in that marriage.
So she came back, they patched things up, and then they say, what? We want to have we want some more kids?
No, so that's when they came back together, they were together for
First answer, no. They didn't say that, because they didn't say that. They didn't ask to extend the family or none of that stuff. They didn't do that. But we're going to let them continue.
I don't remember how long it was, but they were talking about expanding their family. And I'll be completely honest, I don't know the vials that I gave them or the capsules, how many they kept or what they had, or because how you keep them is on you. I don't know. But yeah, they came back and got together. They were trying to have a family together, trying to expand their family. And we're here now.
And so they said that they had that conversation with you, or
Yo, this is diabolical. So it's diabolical because this is a factual thing. So between the two of them, of course, we have to prove it still. But did you or did you not sleep with Bri? And that goes back to that main question, because he's trying to, and see, this is where I see that Tyler is really diabolical, and I say that he's pathological, because he really is trying to build a lie. It's not like a case of dabbling in the gray. No, he's actually telling full-on lies. Like, he's actually trying to build a whole lie. So, for instance, in this instance, right? Okay, if someone's being true that maybe I got done dirty, right? If I know I didn't sleep with Bri, I didn't sleep with her, yeah, and these twins came about, I am going to lose my shit. Excuse my French, because you haven't AR'd me, but you've AR'd me, because you've taken my sperm and not told me and used it to create 2 more children that I'm not involved with. So where is his anger? Where's his frustration? Where's his fight? Right? To say that, you know what, they have robbed me and they've taken my sperm, hidden it, frozen it, and then used it on her. Where is the anger? Right? But no, he's very, and this is why I say he's pathological and actually needs to be paid attention to this. This is scary. What he does is he drips feeds a little bit of the lie, hoping that we'll bite it and run our own narrative, right? Hoping that we'll fill in the gaps by saying, I don't know if they kept the bottle of the vial, or, just of the, maybe they, I don't know how many they had. So maybe that's what happened. No, but if you believe it, tell the truth. Come and say it then. No, you believe that they kept the vial, then say it straight, right? say it straight and say, listen, they use these vows without my consent. I did not sleep with Bri. Bri is a whole damn liar and da-da-da-da. But you're not saying that. You're trying to allude. And the fact that you can't remember the dates is also concerning to me because you just like, I don't know. Is it like September the time? But every single conversation is, I'm not really sure about what time it was. It was close to that time. That tells me if I need to know again. You doing that means that we can't nail you to facts, meaning you can always wriggle out and say, well, I never said September the 18th. I just said it's around September time. I can't remember. I can't remember if it was 2023 or even 2024. I'm not even sure. I just remember September time. So it's always shifting. So you know you're a whole damn liar. And you know that you are spinning a yarn, trying to feed us something, drip feed us something so we can buy it. But we ain't going to do that.
What's even scarier is you had a whole year. A whole year to get this lie straight. This is not even on the spot. That's not even on the spot. You know what I'm saying? So this is what's even worse. It's like you have a whole year. I mean, yes, people that do lies on the spot that good is scary. But you got a year to like literally plan out this lie and get this script and this story straight or whatnot. Like from the time that Netflix called you and said, hey, we got an interview for you, you should have been tight. You should have been tight. Me and Ashley already got our game plan down. She go over there, say this. I go over here and say that. We good. We out of here. We owe nobody nothing. As I said, I don't get why people be mad at Letarius because he was playing for an interview that has pushback and questions to certain things. Letting him speak was never his planned style of being interviewed. Tyler was prepared. Some of these things is calculated thoughts. That's why he has to get them out. I gotta say this. I gotta say this or whatever and stuff like that because he's prepared for the questions of when Bri said this. What was that? He's not prepared for Letarius to just sit back and say, "Okay, tell me your story." I hear you. Yeah. He's not prepared for none of this. This is crazy. But all right. But these kids, this part right here, I highlighted this part because these kids were born within a marriage. But how, Tyler? How were they conceived? Not how they was born or what time they was born. How were they conceived? But you want to tell us that the vows, the capsules that they claim, it went from a cup to capsules to vows. They're just storing this. They just got a home fertility kit basement, just running a clinic downstairs. Everybody comes over there. All the friends come over here to get a baby from downstairs because they just got all these vows and pills that you can get at the counter without a prescription. Child, I don't know how we just storing this stuff. And I said the same thing you said earlier, Coach. I said it earlier is not once that you have an attitude, none of this stuff. But he gonna say that he had a conversation with Bri. He had a conversation with Bri, so it's okay. It's okay.
I think he's doing it because I honestly think that it's going to court. The fact that it got pushed back to February 2025 tells me that this is a narrative he has to stick with that potentially can get him off. So, just sticking to that script that he's got going on. Maybe he's been reinforced by the lawyer as well, to stick to that script. It can get you off because this potentially can get him off. I know it's wild to us because we're looking at going, this is stupid. But again, it goes back to how people apply the law and how they can apply it, which is why he's saying right now, well, it was conceived in the marriage. Because depending on what law is in that state where they were conceived, they are not his kids.
Mm-hmm.
Cheated or not cheating, it is not his kids. And all he has to do is keep denying the fact that, you know what, they are not my kids. Yeah, I stayed around. I was helping. So, in fact, I say he's pathological. He's not pathological. I look at it as almost, he knows what he has to do to get over that line. He doesn't want no financial burden. He's had his fun. He's looked after the kids for a little while. He's now out. And he's going to start his whole life brand new and go elsewhere. He's got a script that he's sticking to. That's what I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm. But it's not even the fact, and I get where you're saying it. For me, it's not even the fact that they are conceived within the marriage. It's how they were conceived. That's where the real question I wanted Letarius to ask is how were they conceived? Don't give me that they just shot the club up with a turkey baster once again. Did you go back in the cup again? Because you're saying that I don't know how Letarius missed this to catch this, but you're telling me that they just held on to these things for about a year plus? that they have technology to defrost and get the sperm back to a proper temperature that it needs to swim at and all this stuff like that, because it's a science to it all. So they got the funds to do that, but they didn't have the funds to go to the donor in the first place. They just got a whole pill maker, like capsule maker at the house to cryovac your sperm into and stuff, but they don't have the money to go to a proper sperm fertility bank and do it the proper way, the legal way. Okay. All right. We believe Tyler, though. We believe him.
Or did you just hear about, one of them called you and said that, or you just assume that they were wanting to expand their family?
No, I had the conversation with Bri. Me and Bri have had, and that's the other thing, like very deep. Yeah, we were, even after she pushed me back out of their lives, I was still remained her friend.
So
I don't know why that being pushed back out my lives always seems so hurtful when he says it, but you sat down the first time with baby number one with all three of y'all. So now we want to extend the family. We're back here. And so just me and you gonna have the conversation? Just me and you, coach. Your wife is no longer involved in this conversation. It's just you and I gonna have this conversation about expanding y'all family, not our family, y'all family. And I'm not gonna sit down with your wife again. The abusive wife. My other part of this pushback right here too is just that Deshaun keeps going in and out, and I'm like, I agree to y'all being in a 2-parent home. I need to sit down with Deshaun, because are you gonna stay here? It seems like you keep bouncing back and forth. Are you gonna stay here? Because the agreement that I set up with y'all was that the baby's gonna be raised in a 2-parent home. So are you gonna stay here before we start extending this family? And Bri, is your cooch healed? Because you just had a baby. How you talking about extending the family already and stuff like that? Like, what? So that's what I'm saying. Like, the fact that you don't want to admit that you and Bri was committing adultery, that's fine. I get it. Y'all don't want to out that part. But don't sit here and sell me a story that y'all was in agreement, just you and Bri, not Deshaun, to extend Deshaun and Bri's family.
She said, I want to expand the family. And y'all were having a conversation, and you said what to that?
Absolutely. And that thing is, again, childish, kiddish mistakes to where I try to be a part of people's lives and help. Bri ends up pregnant these are with the twins now, right? Her wife is out of the picture. She is now dating this new girl. There's never been a point where Bri doesn't go.
I'm confusion. Bri ends up pregnant. Deshaun is out the picture. But Deshaun is wanted to extend her family with Bri. And all of a sudden, this new girl is here.
Go from relationship to relationship. So this is a new girl. She has this girl around, Kai. The girl's doing everything. She's naming the kids. She's going to appointments. That's the other thing. People were like, oh, he's at every appointment. Yeah. He's doing, listen, I want to say 2 appointments, maybe. This girlfriend was at every appointment. They were doing stomach castings. She took all the pictures of her stomach. It felt like it was back to that point.
Right.
And I had already agreed with Bri that I would be in these twins' lives because Bri tried to get an abortion. And
I just need that to resonate with everybody real quick before we speak. There's a lot going on in this whole segment right here. Bri, Deshaun decide they want to extend their family. Bri, Tyler have a conversation about extending family. Deshaun has mysteriously disappeared again. New lady involved while pregnant. Tyler has agreed to step up with the twins when Deshaun decides to have an abortion. Bri decides to have an abortion, which is confusing to me because I thought she wanted to extend her family. Two people agree on the fact that she did go to the clinic to abort the child. So that has to be true. That part has to be true. Only one person is saying the extension of family with Deshaun. Now, Bride might have wanted to extend her family, but it didn't sound like she was trying to do it with Deshaun. And there's a whole new lady. How this whole new lady jump in seconds that Deshaun just disappeared? Like, what? I don't know, Governor.
Man, it's interesting. It's interesting, that situation, because I think, again, like I said, Tyler's trying to get himself the hook, right? That he has still not answered the question of the conception, right? And so now we're at the part where it comes to the A word, and unaliving kids. And so it's like for Tyler, again, once more, like you said, Jay, the narrative is the same. Everybody agrees that she was going to the clinic, that is what she was going to do, right? What we do know is, what we don't know is, is that in between, what's going on between the time of before conception, just before conception happens, finds out pregnant, now we're going to the clinic. So, and this is where I feel like, of course, at that point in time, Bride's able to tell the truth, because at that point in time, she's quote unquote filing for divorce. So in some sense, I mean, she still gets an Article 15 in a sense, but she's still in the clear in that point, right? So she can tell her truth about, listen, we had mutual agreed, we set on this. Tyler doesn't want to admit that this was mutually agreed, or rather said it wasn't mutually agreed when I said that. Sorry, it was a mistake. But you were mutually agreeing to sleep with each other. Y'all were hunching, because there was no agreement about furthering the family that she has described, right? Deshaun doesn't hear that. Bride doesn't adhere to that. Only Tyler's kind of alluding, and he can't even say it straight, to say, look, me and Bride sat down and she told me she wants more kids. Because you know why? Because that would still implicate you.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still lying, but you're trying to find a way around it, right? It still implicate you that if Bride was to sit down with you and said, listen, I wanted to extend the family, right? Because we know that Deshaun was kind of out of the picture anyway. So, sir, what about them kids? Y'all were hunching. It's a mistake. Bride has said it. It's a mistake. I think I don't see why Bride has to lie about it being a mistake. Like, and now she has said, like, oh, me and him planned it, and we sat down and he wanted it. Then maybe I can see why she would want to lie. But for her to say, listen, it was a mistake. It genuinely was not what we had planned. It is something that happened between me and him. We were hunching and this happened. That tells you, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And then the fun fact, he's going to harp on her using the word mistake. If you have nothing to do with this, you didn't actually put yourself into her at any point, and this was all from the vows, why are you harping on the fact that she used the word mistake to try to highlight her as a bad person for saying it? Listen, I use mistake. It's not the best word to use about my child, but it wasn't something that was planned sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes when I'm just talking, it sounds that way, until I was corrected one day by one of my parents, like, don't say that, because it was never a mistake. It was just unplanned. It was just not something that she was going for or whatever stuff. We get it. Bad choice of words. The mistake that she's referring to is sleeping with you. It's not the mistake of being pregnant. It's the mistake of actually laying down with you. That's the mistake that she means. The pregnant part wasn't that. The mistake was the affair. Like, what are you talking about? But you'll use that as a weapon. But if you have nothing to do with this, you have gave them vows, capsules, pills, cup, whatever it is, and that was a year ago, and she just says, I want to extend my family with your seat, the stuff that you gave me a while back. I still got it. I want to extend my family. Why does it matter if she calls it a mistake or not? You're not a part of it. You just said, okay, do what you make, but leave me out of it. I'm out of it. Y'all want to extend your family? I'm out of it. It does not bother me. I'm gonna go a little bit further on this part than wait, where are we at? I'll just let this ride out. I'll let this play out because it's gonna get to the part I want to get to anyway.
The doctor said they said you can get it, but with twins, we're gonna have to put you to sleep. So she said, I'm not gonna get an abortion, right? So as being me, listen, I'm here. I'm back here. Let's rock. Let's do this.
Right.
I'm here with you. But then it spin very quickly to where she's going to these appointments with this woman. It feels more them again. So I start to detach again.
Right.
Shortly after the twins were born, I was around. Help.
Why are we detaching again? You were never attached, according to you. But why are we detaching again? And I can see you, Kaj, while I'm doing this. So if you ever just,
helping a good amount, but that girlfriend was still around as well. She was pretty much raising the kids. And I was there helping a significant portion. And then it hits about, let's say 7-8 months in. I'm trying to remember if I was even at the first birthday. I might've been at the first birthday of the twins, and I wasn't at 2, 3, 4. She switched. She left that girl. She cheated on that girl, got with another girl who she's now engaged to. And then and that girl brought in 2 more kids. That's why, like, people sit online and they make it seem like it's black and white.
Mm-hmm.
This is the stickiest situation. And now as an adult where I'm able to comprehend more things, it's very sticky. When Bride gets into her relationships, she will push any and everyone out. There's a reason. And again, the same way you said you love her, I always love her. That's my friend. She has a way of focusing, and I know many people do it. You get in a relationship and your friends, people who have helped you, they don't matter.
Right.
Your partner matters, but this is just your girlfriend. I've watched you go from one to another, but she gets in these relationships and it's them. It's their bubble. So she's raising this family, having these kids. And me and Bri have a sit down one time. We meet up in Baltimore and I have a conversation with her and I tell her, I don't have this connection with these kids. I feel like a glorified babysitter. I feel like all you want from me is money to help fund your family. You want to raise these kids with a woman. I know, because I agreed to help you.
Yeah.
But the disconnect is, that's not how I want to be a dad. I was raised without a father and people are bashing me saying, you should know what it's like. No, it's different.
Oh, it's very different.
This is like part of the reason why I say this is not about these kids. This is about his relationship with Bri. Because you knew what the situation was from jump. You knew she wanted to be a girl. She wanted to be with a girl. She wanted a family with a woman from jump. If this is not how you wanted to have kids, why did you give her kids? And I'm saying it with the S. You could have gave her the first kid. And then after that, say, hey, I'm done. No, you cannot extend the baby with any of my vows. Matter of fact, give me the cup, the vows, or whatever you got left. Give it all back. If you don't want these kids. This is what she wanted. This is what she wanted. You always knew this is your best friend. This is somebody you say you got love for. That's been your best friend. You know her. You sit there and say that she's pretty much been with the woman all her life. So Tyler, did you think that you came along and you was about to change her? This is the one woman out of everybody you was about to sit here and change. This is the one woman that was going to change for Tyler. Every time she gets a woman, I get pushed out. Pushed out of what? You sound like you are trying to be in a relationship with her for you to get pushed out of anything. You signed up to be an uncle. Uncles are not in a day in, day out situation with the kids. You come around, you see the kids, you pick them up, you take them here and there, you drop them off. You may babysit here and there, you go out. You know, you do your thing. When the mom want to go out, you can bring them over. I ain't doing nothing. She gets a person in her life, and you seem to be more focused on every time she gets a person in her life. She cheated on that last person. She's going down, and she just like I just watch you. You go after woman after woman after woman. Okay, what does that have to do with the kids though? Are the kids still being taken care of while she going woman to woman to woman? It's giving bitter X. It's giving bitter X. Like, I watch you go through all these women. Why you just won't be with me? I would treat you right. I don't know, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, listen, yeah, I think, you know, I guess I'm thinking dark, right? That the game that's played here, I think there's some feelings involved. I think there's some shame, there's some embarrassment, there's some guilt in here. But I also think there's a game of power here. You know, when we play some of these games where we're trying to manipulate, right? Okay, so for instance, for the man, you're trying to get the persuade, right? Maybe Bry's trying to get your attention, get your resources, get a little bit of D. Okay. This is the game. That's the game, right? And in the game, we're sizing each other up, right? As we're, you know, hunching, we're sizing each other up. Who's gonna fall first? Like, you know, because sometimes the game is I want you to fall first. I don't want you. I just want to be the pleasure that you felt. And part of that game is that you are, you know, supposed to be a lesbian, but you out here messing with me. I'm the kind of guy that can make you turn straight, and it's a power play, right? But the game gets caught up, right? In a sense of y'all are hunching, and then two kids are now present. This wasn't the game. This was not the game, right? And I want to be very fair and say, listen, as a man, when that happens, you now no longer have the power, and that's a scary place to be. Because now she has a decision to make. Does she keep him or she get rid of him? It's not even on you anymore. You no longer have the power. You can speak to her, whatever, but if she chooses to keep it, you now realize you have no power. Now, do I think he wanted them kids? Hell no. He did not want them twins. He didn't want nothing to do with twins. But he probably didn't want to be like the bad guy, quote unquote, that's gonna say, you know what? I don't want it, and make it a big scene. So Robert, what's gonna do? He's gonna friend her and be like, you know, it's cool. If you wanted to keep it, you can keep it. It's not a problem. Like, yaga, yaga, yaga. But in reality, he didn't want them kids. You know how we know that? Because of what he's doing right now. Right? Because of what he's doing right now. So in that space, right, he realizes now that unfortunately his life is changed. And it's political because he can't do nothing about it. Bry has all the power in the situation. And it feels like he's being played himself now. Now he feels like he's being played. So now the reality is what he's arguing against is you guys can't even see. You guys can't even see that we were playing a game. And she's got the power in the situation now. And now she's out of me to the rest of the world. And y'all ain't going to talk about what she does. But you want to talk about me? But meanwhile, both of us are playing the game. Oh, but you can only see one side of the game. Right? And then that's where you get into this aspect. You know what I'm saying to you? Meanwhile, there were some things you were doing in between that time that caused some carnage. You know what I'm saying to you? You know, you were sleeping there. You were staying over. You stayed for a whole year and a bit, my guy. You played house. You know what I'm saying to you? So this wasn't even a clean break. But maybe that was your way. And maybe this is what Ashley was talking about the people pleasing. Your real answer, you couldn't give. You were afraid of being looked at as a bad person. And so the real answer you wanted to say is, Brian, I don't want them kids. This is what we're seeing right now. The real answer he wanted to give 9 months ago and those 9 months before that when the kids were coming was, Brian, I don't want them kids. The first one, you know what? Sperm donor, I've got my story covered. I wanted to play a little bit. I don't mind filling in here and there. I'm not trying to be full-time. I know you are friends of me and your friends. Deshaun was trying to take the kids. You know what I'm saying to you? I know you're an abuser, but still I'm covering for you because we're all manipulators here. You know, it's honor among thieves. I covered you. Cool. You got your kid now. This is the kid you wanted. Cool. You have it now. I don't want nothing to do with it now. Now I've done my part. I'm on it. But we are still going to hunch. Now people are going to ask, why would you still continue to hunch? Because Negroes be thinking with their head. And this is what happens. We do this sometimes. We don't think with this one. We think with the one down below. We're thinking to ourselves, you know what? All right, cool. Look, she'll get another girlfriend. She'll get someone else. It'll be cool. You keep hunching. You keep playing. Then you hunch and she gets pregnant. Now she's got all the power. Because now we're stuck with another decision. And she was going to get rid of it, which would have cleared the game. And we wouldn't be here today. We would not be here to. If them twins didn't come out, I promise you that we wouldn't be here today, because it would have just been one child that they're dealing with. But now we're dealing with 3. So that changed the whole entire game, and it's just like, and I'm saying game to put it as in that when people are playing from that psychological place where they're trying to dominate the other person, have power over the other person, right? This is what he's alluding to. It's like, you don't see her, but bro, we do. But the problem is, you the bigger issue. That's the only problem. You know what I'm saying, Chief?
And at that time, she was just a better game player than you. Because look at you, you hurt. You and your feelings right now, because you can't even admit that y'all slept together when she already did it. He omits that through this whole thing. He mentions everything but the fact these two was humping when they made the twins. You want to tell us how she was cheating on this person, that person, but you don't want to tell us that she was cheating with you. It was you she was cheating with. You know she's a cheater because you was cheating with her. Y'all both some cheaters. But you don't admit that part. You just want to focus on the women she was cheating with, not the men, because it doesn't count because she's a lesbian. Lesbians don't sleep with men. They hunch them, but they don't sleep with them. It's like, what? This guy.
She is being raised. These kids are in general are being raised by 2. They have been raised by 2 women constantly, whether it's a girlfriend or a fiance. It's been a 2-woman household this entire time.
In the season that you were active, do you consider yourself raising them, or do you consider yourself just being a babysitter?
I didn't get to raise them. That's the thing. I didn't get to discipline them.
Oh,
I felt bad if I even said like, hey, don't touch that, because I wasn't around much.
oh, okay.
It's that they never.
Even though you live downstairs from them, we're going to quantify. When we say not much and all that, we don't know what that
Okay,
means.
so let's do this. I wasn't an active parent.
So how?
More truth. Thank you. Thank you. This interview could have been over a long time ago. I wasn't an active parent because I never wanted to be a parent. At least at that time, I just didn't want to be a parent. Not with Bri or whatever. I was just trying to help her out with the first kid, second kid, third kid. We was doing a little too much, and here we are now. This interview didn't have to be 2 hours long. But he wanted to volunteer all the lies. So here we are 2 hours later. Like, what? You just wasn't an active parent. That's all.
How often did you see this kid weekly?
The son at first, I would say I was seeing him more recently, 4 or 5 times a week, right? Him. Twins were born after, when they're around, when they were babies from 0 to 6 months, I seen them pretty frequently, Monday through Friday.
Why does he talk like they in 2 different homes? Like he's running from home to home to see these kids. They in the same home. But Monday to Friday is a long time. Now watch what he says right after this, Coach. Watch what he says after this, right? Okay. Monday through Friday is the time that he sees the kids. Watch how he does this one.
6 months, 0 to 6 months. After that, once her partner was consistently around again, a new partner, they've never spent the weekend with me.
Duh.
I mean, he more active than most parents. Oh, most parents are like, no, the kids ain't with me during the week. They with me on the weekends. Why are you reversing it?
Wait, he said after the lady was around, I was not a weekend dad. Sir, you was never a weekend dad.
So you were full time because, bro, you were doing 9 to 5. You full time work.
But the fact that he gonna stay when the twins was around, I had them from Monday through Friday, and then when the girl came around, they never spent the weekend with me. Monday through Friday is not the weekend, bro. So yeah, they weren't spending the weekend before the girl came around. But I'm confused because which girl are we talking about? Because you said it was about 4 or 5 different girls in between. So which girl that took away your weekends?
Well, like someone said, he was living there. But that's the problem. He hasn't defined it to us that, you know what, I was living with her for a year and a bit. This is why I saw the kids so much. He never defined that. We only know that because Bri did. And Deshaun has let us know also by confirming that. But we know that because Bri did. So this is exactly what the problem is with Tyler. It's the omission of that information is important. So when he lived in the same building, he didn't have to see the kids 4 to 5 times a week. He still didn't have to. There are deadbeats out there that live down the road that won't see you. Okay, so the fact that he saw the kid 4 to 5 times a week by staying in the same building, and then he went to live there, right? He still hasn't made that clear to us and gone, do you know what? The reason why I saw this kid so much is because at one point I too was kicked out of my home. I was evicted. I couldn't afford my rent. I went to stay with Bri because I knew that obviously first and foremost we have a good relationship, good friendship, and I was still playing the uncle role. He hasn't even said that to say at least let us know, to see a consistency of story. That's how we know he's lying, because there's no consistency of the story. It breaks, it goes, it breaks, it goes again. There's no consistency of that, and getting ahead of that. Say, hey, you know what, my particular thing, my particular thing here. All right, listen. I did go into stay with her because I was homeless. Okay, I had been evicted. I couldn't pay my rent. I lost my job. I thought to myself, who else could I go to? I knew that Bri would take me in because we have a good friendship. And I knew that obviously I had already had a bit of a relationship with the kids already. Again, I'm the uncle. So I didn't see anything wrong with this. That would have been somebody who's actually telling the truth about the fact that this was never an arrangement that was actually about me being father of these kids. But that's not his truth. His truth is, 45 times a week. So why would you see them 45 times a week?
Especially if y'all not living in the same facility or whatever and stuff like that. I just, that's a lot of time to keep going over there. That's a lot of time to keep going over there. But that's why I said this interview was good. It's just the fact that if you watch it straight through, you feel like you don't get nothing because you got to literally kind of bounce back from like, wait a minute, you said this earlier. You said, no, wait, you said that. Because he says at some point that he was downstairs. He lived on the first floor. They lived on the third floor. This is when Deshaun and Bri was together. So he got to see the boy a lot. When the boy was born, he got to see him a lot. I just like, when the twins was born, you were living with her. So yeah, you should be seeing them a lot. And if you got them from Monday through Friday, guess it sounds like the arrangement is while Bri is at work, you have the kids. And when she's off on the weekends, you get to be free. So yeah, don't matter if a girl is there or not there, you just get your free time. You get your 2 days because you were the babysitter from Monday to Friday while Bri is at work. While Bri is making the check to make sure y'all got a place to stay, you are watching the kids and she's going to work. And on the weekend, you have your 2 days off. It's a job. The kids is still a job. You were just the daycare during the week.
So they're saying that when you get a new lover in your life, you abandon your kids. You're saying it's the opposite.
I can tell you that I've dated seriously 3 women.
Since these kids were born, or in your whole life?
No, just my entire life. And this is not including Ashley. So at what point do these women come into effect? Because I dated when I stopped talking to, or when me and Bri had a conversation, I didn't have a connection. I felt like a glorified babysitter. I then went on to date a girl. I dated her for a year. I didn't see these twins or talk to them for almost 4 years.
So it sounds like when you get a girlfriend, you dip too. That's what Bri said. I don't care if your girlfriend is not serious or whatever. When you find somebody that you want to talk to, them kids don't exist anymore conveniently for you. When you told Bri that you have no connections to kids, you stopped talking to her and you got with this girl because now you got a place to stay. She giving you a place to stay, allegedly. I don't know. But she giving you somewhere to be. And now you don't talk to the kids for 4 years. You only talk to the girl for a year, but you don't talk to the kids for 4 years. So it must be another girl somewhere. I don't know. That you started talking to afterwards. It make sense to me.
I'm not in serious relationships like that. That's the thing. I date, but I'm dating like everyone else, conveniently dating.
Yeah.
And no one is ever telling me what to do, like not be around these kids. You're playing, they're playing house, not me.
So you're telling me you're making a conscious choice not to be around the kids. Nobody's telling you not to be there. Bri tells you don't show up. She don't tell you don't show up, don't come. The girlfriend don't tell you don't come around here. These are my kids now. I don't ever want to see you around here. Stay away from my family. Nobody ever tells you what to do. So you're actually consciously making an effort to be a deadbeat dad. That's what he just told us. This is his choice to actively not be around these kids. not none of his girlfriends, not Ashley, not Bride, not none of Bride's girlfriends, not Deshaun, not his mom, not Bride's mom. Nobody in his life is telling him what to do. He is actively choosing not to be an active participant, good father to these kids. He's choosing to be a deadbeat donor. Thank you, El Cid. A deadbeat donor. Facts. I don't know. You got anything?
I just think, obviously, I think also, like I said, I think the power struggle between him and Bri also is unappetizing to want to be a father in this relationship, because Ty is obviously very concerned about the power dynamics between the two of them. I don't think he fully trusts her. I know he calls her a friend, but I think he doesn't fully trust her. And I say this to say, what's that got to do with the kids? A lot of men are already emotionally detached, right? So we're emotionally unavailable. So I want to make it very clear. We're emotionally unavailable. We don't carry a child for 9 months. So we don't get forced to formulate an attachment. So when a woman births a child, she has had 9 months to attach that child. That baby is physically, emotionally, mentally attached to that woman. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Mm-hmm.
But for the men, we do not have 9 months to attach that child. How we often attach is based upon our emotional availability and also our feelings about the mother in question. So now when there's a lack of a love for that parent, it actually then extends itself also onto the child. So now the child is now going to suffer because he don't like Bri like that. I mean, he like Bri, but he don't like Bri like that. Okay. And so because of that, he's now doing everything in his power to remove himself from the situation. And if he can find a loophole, and the loophole here is this: you can't call me a deadbeat because technically these are sperm donor kids. So this is actually not about this not even about the kids. This is about his reputation. Because now I'm not one of those deadbeats. No, these are not my kids. This is sperm donor kids. So you can see why I'm doing what I'm doing. But in reality, he actually is detached, and it is his kids. Well, at least there's twins, we can say. Let's leave the first one and say, listen, we can allow him to have a little gray area pass. But the twins, he ain't got a choice. And that is where he's gonna find it sticky, and why the lies are becoming thick and fast, and the issue that he's having. Because in that space, let's be honest, I think if he really wanted Bri, do you think Bri would not say yes? I think she would have said yes. I think they like each other. I think she would like to go on and continue. But the reality of the situation is, brother, you don't want her like that, right? You want control, just like she wants control. And I think this is where you're seeing that distrust between two people. It's like Mr. and Mrs. Smith fighting with each other in the same house. And because of that, you now know that everything is now going to be looked for a lens of the person's out to get me. Once this trust is in there, anything the person does looks like you're trying to do it on purpose to try and get me and try to get at me. So when now she's asking for the money, you're like, what, money? No. You ain't sucking me like that. You remember, these are sperm donor kids. Yeah. And it just becomes a warfare between these two. Again, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, that he doesn't want to pay for them kids.
He don't want to pay for them kids. And I feel you on that whole theory. My only pushback to the deadbeat part, and I get what you're saying, how he's trying to think this through, but because he keeps saying, I agree to step up. I agree to help you out. I agree to be the father figure. I agree to be a father to these kids. I agree to be a parent or whatever and stuff. Because he did this is where I have my pushback on him. You would have, if he'd have just stayed with that thing, I'm out. I was just a donor. I have nothing. I can agree with you on that he is not a deadbeat, because that wasn't the agreement. He wasn't trying to be a father. But the day that you decide, hey, I'm going to be something to this, and you make that agreement, your word is bond. You can't break that. You cannot break that and just say, today I don't want to do it anymore. Especially because this is your biological. It's a little bit different. And I'll still harp on you some type of way if you decide to adopt a kid, because I was the same way with Yandy when she adopted that girl, and then all of a sudden I want to give her back. Like, no, you took that girl in. That's your child now. You know what I'm saying? You can't just give her back because you don't want her. Because Medici's come home and now, you know what I'm saying, you can't have her in the house. You can't just do that. So once the day you decide I'm gonna make a conscious decision to step up and help you or whatever, that's the day I'm gonna sit here and look at you and say, okay, are you being a good dad or not? You cannot decide that when she gets a relationship or when you get a relationship, these kids don't have a relationship no more. Don't matter who get a relationship. The kids still need the relationship. You agreed to step up for the kids, not for Bri. You're doing this for Bri. That's why I be on the stance that he likes Bri more than he likes to believe he do. And he's more of the one who's mad he can't get Bri the way because Bri, yes, she would probably secretly stay messing with Tyler because that's what they've been doing anyway. But openly, she wants to be with a woman. He don't want to be with nobody secretly. He want to be openly in a relationship with somebody. And Bri is that somebody he wants to be with. So I'm under the belief that you're doing all of this every time you just don't want to deal with the kids when you can't have Bri the way you want her. When you can have Bri the way you want her, it's okay. It's okay. I'll play daddy. I'll do this stuff. But as soon as Bri gets somebody, it's, oh, she pushed me out. That people push me out. But you just told us that can't nobody tell you nothing about when it comes to the kids and all this stuff like that. Nobody's telling you and holding you back from the kids. You're holding yourself back from the kids. Why? Because you can't have Bri the way you want her? You can't have Bri or her girl? I don't know. And I'm not saying it to disagree. This is my belief or whatever. So y'all disagree, that's fine. Kojo's on one side as I'm on the other. We seeing it two different things. But at the end of the day, these are two people that secretly do want each other. To what capacity, we don't know. But they secretly want each other.
No woman is moving in and living with me and any of that. So it's not affecting my life.
Yeah.
That's easy to say when you have pushed someone out because you want that family. You've told me she has told me to my face, I want to raise kids with a woman. I don't see how it's possible to do it with a man. And I get it. Like I said, I get it. So my backing out standpoint was, okay, well, this is affecting my life too. Because
you get it how? Because that just confused me. So you said you get what part?
That she wants to, because she's been with women her entire life. So to say that that's what you want and that's what you see your life as.
Not her entire life.
I want to be with a woman. That's who I want to raise my kids with, you know?
But when she brought you into the life, so who brought who into this situation about, when the women disappear? Is it you asking to be in these kids' life to be uncle? Or is she saying, hey, I need your help now since, because is there both of y'all having a conversation saying, she said, I don't want to be a single parent. And you saying, I don't want my kids growing up in a single household, whether it's two women or me trying to help out. Let's come together and help provide some level of stability for these kids. Or what is this conversation like?
That's exactly what it is. It's the stability of kids having two parents. I honestly don't care if it's two men, two women, man and woman. I was raised in a single household. So it changes financially. It changes for support. Some parents they don't have their greatest day. So they need someone else to lean on at some point. So that was me. When I seen her struggling, and like I said, I'll take fault for that, where I'm like, hey, I'll step up. I'm here. Where she has showed me who she was. And I took it as, you're just going through tough times. You didn't mean to cut me out of your life. You didn't mean to let your wife come back and push me back out. You're still my friend. I still love you. And
how'd you feel?
See what I'm saying? You see why I see that? Why I'm thinking what I'm thinking?
That's a very interesting, very interesting wording he used in terms of being pushed out again. And I definitely see your point as well. You can see it, and I can definitely see your perspective of why you say that way as well. I'm not discounting that at all. I can also see it that the wording when he says being pushed out is him also being a little bit, but it does sound like he's being very genuine. His facial expressions are showing very genuine, but it could also be as well. Like I said, it could be again pushing that narrative, about being pushed out. But yeah, it does sound very, very genuine that he feels like he's being pushed out. My thing is I think where we haven't, not you, but I think in general all of us are seeing confusion is, but you can do something about it. Like you actually had the power in your hands. In fact, sorry, you do, because the twins are still in. I think I think you've been removed from the birth certificate. I'm not sure if he has or not, but you had that. So it's like, but this is why I would say there's some confusion. I think there is some deeper feelings here that go beyond friendship between himself and Bride that I would definitely agree to. I think there's something deeper here that we're not fully privy to, that we're not fully seeing. And this is causing more of the fight between the two of them that doesn't really make sense, especially on Tyler's end, right? Because like I said, I said this before, I said Raj just taking his ass to court. And if he's in contempt, he gets caught. Like this didn't need to come out. This why I thought was confusing. I was like, didn't need to come out, because whether he calls them sperm donors or not, you're gonna take his ass to court and you're gonna nail him. Yeah? And once he nails him, it's legal. Then you can come out and say, you know what? He lied. He said all he said, but I've gone to court and here's the documents. Voila! Done. But she didn't do that. So somebody who's very calculated and very much somebody who is very much manipulative, which I do believe there's some manipulation in there because Deshaun is suffering for it. But somehow, some way, we know what happens when we're manipulators. That you get caught with the emotions. That there is always someone that catches you off guard with emotions, and you don't realize they're happening to you, and you start acting what I call erratic. You know what I'm saying to you? And so, I feel like that has hampered maybe some of the procession as to why, Bride's also coming the way she's coming. And it's not saying that she's bad for coming out. I'm saying I'm now looking at her reasoning for why she came out, and now I'm looking at his reason, which is not making sense. Because, bro, do you want them kids or not? Because you're confusing me. Because if you don't want them kids and they weren't your kids, you just got to be straight up. She lied on me. She knew that. But Ravo is almost giving, like I said earlier on, why are you telling them this information? Like, we agree. Like, whatever beef we have has to happen underneath the surface. Don't break my stuff I've got going on here. You know what I'm saying to you? When we beef, it's like when the family feuds, nobody wins. But when the family feuds, the family must feud inside the house, and no one should have information outside. That's what it's given right now. You know what I mean? I think that's why it's getting a bit convoluted as well.
And here's where I definitely agree with you on the power dynamic of it all. And this is a dark arts play on Bride's part. I think she enjoys the secret relationship. I think she enjoys having him as secret or whatnot. And that she would thought no matter who he's married to, I could still get him to come over. Because he kind of alludes to that she has a certain way of getting me to do things or whatever stuff. She had that power, that control over him. And so, like, with Ashley coming into play, is that power stopped. That control she once had over him stopped because she's now cut off. She can't just run in the thing and just be like, hey, come through, the kids need you. Hey, come see the kids tonight or whatever and stuff like that. She can't do that little thing and get her little rocks off real quick and then he go back home. They can't cheat together like they once were before. Now she's mad because I said it when her video came out and you made me remember just now. She sounds bitter too. Why are you out here like this? You're giving bitter X too. Just like he's giving bitter X, she's giving bitter X. That's why I say these two actually like each other more than they want. They just can't. They know overall they can't be together because she will never be fulfilled and happy because she really deep down inside prefers women overall. And he'll never be able to have her the way he wants her. They can only be secret lovers. So it's just like, y'all should just continue to be secret lovers and left us all up out of it. The group chat and leave us alone and raise them kids in secrecy. Like, we could have just moved on from all of this. But y'all being bitter exes want to out each other and not out each other, but still say, I really do love him though. I still got love for him and she's still my best friend. And I'm gonna always have love for her. Why do I always have love for somebody that's discrediting my character? Tell me, why would I still love you and still hold a space of protection for you? And you're sitting here discrediting my character. You're calling me a deadbeat dad. You telling me I ain't never did this. You stole my sperm, whatever the case may be, but I still love you. There's still a friendship there. These two is the wildest. And you know what I thought about too, Coach? And I might be off the rails, but I might be on a whole right track. Is I feel like these two plotted this whole thing together. All of this stuff we got going on right now, I think this was their whole plot. Now the court case and all that stuff, it might be just the extra little something just to seal the deal to make it more believable and all this stuff like that. But all of this back and forth, hey, you go on the show, because you were fine, Bride, with him going on the show. You wrote the text, yeah, go on the show, find you a wife, do that, ha ha ha, yay, congrats to you both, or whatnot. But as soon as he get off the show, he get his check. He dipped on you. You ain't getting the money no more. So it's, oh, let me file child support so I can get my ends. Let me get my ends. Because what is this?
How'd you feel about that then? Since you didn't have an emotional connection with the kids in general, when you got pushed out, did you have an emotional connection getting pushed out?
No. So like I said, when it was time when we had that conversation, I took it as more of a shot at me as a friend. That's what I seen. It wasn't like a connection where it's this is hurting me. You're pulling me from these kids. It's, damn, we cool. Like I stepped in to help you. And then the minute, and sorry, I mean,
oh, you fine.
But
I told you.
Step in, it's a shocker to me. So she showed her face multiple times and it just shocked. It wasn't like, it was a hurt from a friend, but also like, okay, if these kids are safe and they're going to have a family, I know what I was signing up for. I have to understand that.
Did you catch that body language right there? Bring it back a sec.
See these twins or talk to them for almost 4 years. I'm not in serious relationships like that. That's the thing. I date, but I'm dating like everyone else, conveniently dating. And they don't, no one is ever telling me what to do, like not be around these kids. You're playing, they're playing house, not me. No woman is moving in and living with me and any of that. So it's not affecting my life.
Yeah.
That's easy to say when you have pushed someone out because you want that family. You've told me she has told me to my face, I want to raise kids with a woman. I don't see how it's possible to do it with a man. And I get it. Like I said, I get it. So my backing out standpoint was, okay, well, this is affecting my life too. Because
you get it how? Because that just confused me. So you said you get what part?
That she wants to, because she's been with women her entire life. So to say that that's what you want and that's what you see your life as, if I want to be with a woman, that's who I want to raise my kids with, you know?
But when she brought you into the life, so who brought who into this situation about, when the women disappeared? Is it you asking to be in these kids' life to be uncle? Or is she saying, hey, I need your help now since, because is there both of y'all having a conversation saying, she said, I don't want to be a single parent. And you saying, I don't want my kids growing up in a single household, whether it's two women or me trying to help out. Let's come together and help provide some level of stability for these kids. Or what is this conversation like?
That's exactly what it is. It's the stability of kids having two parents. I honestly don't care if it's two men, two women, man and woman. I was raised in a single household. So it changes financially. It changes for support. Some parents they don't have their greatest day. So they need someone else to lean on at some point. So that was me. When I seen her struggling, and like I said, I'll take fault for that, where I'm like, hey, I'll step up. I'm here. Where she has showed me who she was. And I took it as, you're just going through tough times. You didn't mean to cut me out of your life. You didn't mean to let your wife come back and push me back out. You're still my friend. I still love you. And
well, how'd you feel about that then? Since you didn't have an emotional connection with the kids in general, when you got pushed out, did you have an emotional connection getting pushed out?
No. So like I said, when it was time when we had that conversation, I took it as more of a shot at me as a friend. That's what I seen. It wasn't like a connection where it's this is hurting me. You're pulling me from these kids. It's, damn, we cool. Like I stepped in to help you. And then the minute, and sorry, I mean,
oh, you fine.
But
I told you.
Step in, it's a shocker to me. So she showed her face multiple times and it just shocked. It wasn't like, it was a hurt from a friend, but also like, okay, if these kids are safe and they're going to have a family, I know what I was signing up for. I have to understand that. And the only thing with me is I don't want to be a tiptoe dad,
right?
Because that's what my dad was to me. And that's more hurting. And I would feel better if I didn't know my dad.
Right.
I would be able to live life rather than thinking, why didn't he pick me? And at some point I had to make that decision. And again, this is a rough take, but I have to accept this in my life as well. And I don't want people to think like, he's just saying, forget them kids. It's not that easy for me. It's not. Just because I say I don't have a connection, I don't want you to think that I don't love them, that I don't care for them. It's not that. It's just, I feel like that's the situation that they're going to have. And I'll be fighting that for a very long time.
Wait, pause it up. You know, I can't lie to you. We need a therapist in this room because it's so. You know what? Someone did a video of me today and called me an abuse apologist. But I'm gonna be real with you. Something about this is so much deeper, and of course, we really call him diabolical. But there's something deeper that we're not seeing because it doesn't make sense. Now he's talking from a perspective where, at first, I understood it. Where he said, because I could see what he was aiming at. He wasn't talking about the kids. The pain was actually from Bri. And the fact that Bri pushed him out. Like, we had a connection, we had our thing going on, and you pushed me out, right? It was nothing about them kids. Then it switched now, and he's saying, you know, about the kids, you know, about being in their lives and tiptoeing. You don't want to be a tiptoe dad. You know, it's almost as if like you want to be in their lives. So now I'm getting confused because I'm like, bro, if you want the kids, and he looks very genuine again. This doesn't sound like he's lying. So something isn't quite right. You know what I'm saying to you? That we're not getting the full story of what's happened here. And I feel like he's also covering certain. I think both Brian and him are covering, and it's not to say that they're trying to manipulate even us per se. There's parts of the story, you know, like when you tell a story, there's parts of the story when you tell it, you got to tell it in a certain way because certain parts of it will make people look really, really bad. But for you who was involved in it, it's not as bad because you kind of have a different perspective. You're seeing it from the fact that we were in this together. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, if we hear the fact that these two went on and started having sex with everybody else, we're like, God damn, that's wild. But for them, it's like, nah, but because this is what we were doing. This was the fun we were conceiving. So there is something else that we're starting to see that, you know, I feel like we're not really getting the full truth of what happened between the two of them, because you're giving that you got feelings for this girl. Like, you got deep seated feelings for this girl, and you're covering something up that we're not fully getting the full truth over. That's what I'm kind of seeing, and it's almost like you're not being fully honest. Something's not quite right. That's what I'm saying.
It's given he wants the all or nothing. If he can't have Bri, he don't want nothing. I mean, you know, like, not necessarily Bri, but if he can't have Bri, he don't want the kids. And if he can't have the kids, he don't want Bri. I need the full package. I don't want it or whatever. And that stuck out to me too. Is like you're saying, I don't want to be a tiptoe dad because that's what my dad was, but you agreed to be an uncle. You didn't agree to be a dad. Even if you agreed to step up and help with the twins, you could have still agreed under the guise of an uncle. Hey, I'm still here as an uncle because that's what the first one knows me as. So let's not mess up what the whole plan is, and we just gonna keep it with the uncle situation. How did we switch from being an uncle to now we're a dad? That's where I'm going. And then you have to keep trying to disconnect. If you don't have to keep trying to disconnect if we just stay in that one role, because there's only so much connection that an uncle generally is going to have anyway. So you're at the perfect spot right there. I love these kids, but I don't have the parental connection to them. Great, you're an uncle. Stay in that lane right there. Stay right there. You ain't got to go out of pocket. You ain't got to do nothing else. But now you're talking about, I don't want to be a tiptoe dad because my father was. So tiptoe your butt back over there and stay over there then. If you want to give them the full treatment of what you didn't have, just stay there and give them the full treatment. You and Bri can co-parent. This is what co-parenting looks like. They get into another relationship. You work it out on what days you have the kids. You have your relationship over here. They have theirs over there. Y'all alternate time between the two families. That's co-parenting. A lot of us do it. I don't know how many relationships that your mom went through or whatever, how many different siblings that, you know, how many different dads that your siblings and you have, y'all share the same dad. I don't know if the situation is, but if you grew up and your one of your siblings got a different dad, they co-parented. Get your rights. Go to court. Get your rights. Go to custody. He's making it more complicated than it has to be, in my eyes.
Her wanting to be with a woman and raise those kids with a woman. There's even times where, right before or last summer, actually, Brad told me in confidence, and I'm only saying this because it gets you a more understanding of people.
Yeah.
They pray every Sunday, right? Which is great. Love that for them. Their entire family, her fiance, and all their kids. There's 5 of them. They pray. Why she told me this, I don't know, but it even threw me for a loop. They say what they're grateful for, what they're not grateful for. Her fiance said, I'm not grateful for Tyler.
In front of the kids?
In front of the kids. So how can I fight that? You're going to be feeding them false information on me constantly and bashing me. So let me just back out.
If you listen to the argument, right, he is connected.
Mm-hmm.
Because in this moment, he's arguing about, he's not, so okay, it's just the way the argument is framed. The way he's framing the argument is saying, how can I fight them? How can I have custody? How can I be involved when that group over there is influencing the kids in such a way that even if I was there, it wouldn't be a great environment? Rather than saying, do you know what? It's not my kids. So it doesn't even matter. It's not my kids. Whatever she does over there doesn't matter. So it sounds like there's something very much connected. So there is, I don't know if he wants it on his terms. I don't know if he wants the relationship on his terms, whatever, and wants it on his time or whatever. But you are connected, right? Something is causing him an issue, and we need a psych eval or something, because something is causing him an issue, because he is sounding very much connected when he's arguing this point in that particular space.
And I said that earlier in this live when it kind of started, that he's purposely disconnecting himself from these kids. Now, I'm not saying that he doesn't have a disposition that he can detach real easily, because he obviously must have one to be able to do it, but he's intentionally disconnecting himself from these kids. Because how do you go to the birth of the first child, look at it, and just be like, no, I don't feel nothing? Just because I wasn't there through the whole 9-month process of putting a casting on, rubbing the belly, being at the appointments and all this stuff like that. Most of the time, a lot of men may not be at all of that stuff. They might be at 1 or 2 things or whatnot. Sometimes they got to work, so they can't make some of the appointments. You know, they might try or whatever and stuff like that, but it doesn't negate that they may still feel something as soon as that baby is born. And I don't want to take away that you're ever supposed to feel something, because some moms don't feel nothing. They go through the whole process and they don't feel anything at all. But you clearly felt something, but you had it in your head, I have to detach from this because I'm just supposed to be an uncle. That's fine. But when the twins were born, why you just didn't detach again? You said, I'm going to step up. I'm going to do these things. And then when somebody comes around, it's like, oh, okay, let me detach. You're right. He needs some type of psyche, because I don't know how you can just keep attaching and detaching, attach and detach to the same thing. To the same things. That's crazy to me.
It looks bad, but that's not the life I see for myself when I see kids or wanting to raise kids or be around kids, when this woman is actively showing me that her family is with a woman and that they have that. And I want to be clear, these kids have been raised by women for the past 4 years. They go to her mom's house. They go on vacations together. That's not shown on the internet, because people say I cleared my Instagram. Bride cleared her Instagram. Go look. Go try to find her fiance. No, don't worry. I'll show you.
Yeah, let me see her fiance. Because you're saying, and while you're pulling that up, I want you to answer this, because she made the comment where she talked about the kids, the twins were conceived naturally. What do you say about that?
Let's say this. If she came out publicly and said that they weren't conceived naturally, that they all were sperm donors, would you feel bad for her?
Why do we answer a question with a question? We were direct when we answered the baby shower question. Did your ex fiance go to the baby shower? No. There was no question asked. Was it a baby shower? Was it this or whatever? Would I feel bad? Would I give her sympathy?
And I'll give that to her. She is very, very, very intelligent. But yeah,
So why don't she talk about her fiance? So let me see this. This is her fiance.
Yeah, so that's her fiance.
And these are your kids right here?
That's the twins.
Those are the twins.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so beautiful.
He got all the receipts, but this is the only receipt he gives.
Y'all, I've been so emotional lately. I just can't believe all my kids are getting so big. My oldest legit is wearing the same size shoes as me.
But who's saying that?
This is the fiance right here.
But she said my kids.
Yeah.
So why hasn't she been mentioned?
When is it?
But why does it matter, Tyler? They not your kids, remember? You don't want them kids. Take them. Just take them. You don't want them kids.
They ain't mine. I thought that's the lane he was going down, but he keeps like kind of going back on himself. So I'm like, bro, stick to that lane then if you're saying that, but he doesn't. But yeah, they ain't
You
mine.
just a
See,
daughter.
I told you what I tell you. They ain't my kids. She said it's my kids. That's why I thought he was going with it the whole entire time, but he's not.
Why is she saying that? Why is she saying this to my kids when they my kid? Like
When was this?
Look at the twins. They're older. That's recently.
How old are they right now?
I believe 5.
Oh, they look about 4 or 5 right now.
Yeah.
So she's been in their life for how long?
Since they were born. She's been around since they were 1.
So Bri went from the wife
to girlfriend, which I will leave her name out as well. But
I was another person.
Yeah, there's an in between.
So she went from
that's who named the girls. So it wasn't her ex-wife. It was a girl she dated after. She named the kids. She was there for the appointments. She was there doing plastic stuff on her stomach. They took all the pregnancy pictures. And then there's this girl.
So when the kids are born, the wife is not in the picture no more. Is the girlfriend in the picture?
Yes, the girlfriend is not involved at all anymore.
God dog it. Hold on, let me go back. Jesus, your life is jacked up. Listen to this. I know it's supposed to be
I'm just trying to get people to understand
it. No, because
like,
it's so confusing. Hold on. So when the kids are conceived, the wife is in the picture. She comes back and say, we want to expand our family. These kids are born. Before they're born, the wife is gone, and now she has a girlfriend that says, I'm going to name the kids.
Yeah. So
within that 9-month period or whatever it was, because it didn't mean it had to happen immediately when they say I want to expand it. When they say I want to expand it, did it happen immediately or did it happen a year later? It couldn't have been that long.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, I was going to say it was probably a few months later. It wasn't because the age difference is almost 2 years. Between the son and the twins. It's almost 2 years. And then when her wife left, I want to say within months, she was with a new person.
So Deshauna said that whatever she said based on the timeline of the pregnancy, she said based on the timeline of the pregnancy, the kid was a month old or so 6 months. It was 6 months. The
original, the son.
Yes, there's the son.
Yeah. So they done a lot. It's been back and forth with them. So that's what happened. So she leaves, she comes back. She lets her leave, she lets her come back. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's very, she'll do anything for a relationship. And when I say she, I mean Bri. She wants a family and a household so bad that she'll accept someone back. And Deshaun will go back after being physically abused. And that's the crazy part. The people skim over certain areas, and I don't want to harp on it, but if I was married before and my wife came out and said that I physically abused her.
It's a wrap, boy. It's a wrap for you. Your life is over.
It don't matter what you say after that.
Nope.
You're going to clip that one part.
Your career's over.
But she came out and said that about her, and we ignored it. She was trying to, there's parts and pieces where they'll show you her character, and the entire world will miss it. Another example, the terrible thing that people are running with, you're saying sperm babies. Don't call them sperm babies. Her mom, I don't know where we heard that from. Again, I didn't watch it. I'm just telling off what I heard. Bride then gets on live and say they were mistakes.
She said that on her channel? Or
no, on live. She was on live with someone. And she said that the twins were mistakes. So imagine these kids growing up watching their mom.
She's saying that basically y'all had relations, as old folks say, and she got pregnant.
But then you're gonna call them a mistake.
Well, she called it oops thing.
He did deny the relations.
He did not. But he also as well. Interestingly, I think we should go back and play it again. But obviously, interesting in that space too. Obviously he's shifting the conversation to being about, we ain't talking about how bad her reputation is and all that kind of stuff. But bro, so then go. You know you can go to court, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know you can go to court, right? But you didn't even have to because you had rights. So it's like, and so my thing is, again, why it's confusing, but at the same time, it's still giving F them kids in some aspect, but in that same time, it's like, it's not. Is that you could, if I heard him sitting up here saying, you know what, I regret, giving away my rights, so I regret whatever, because actually now I'm looking at it, it's not the right situation these kids to be in. Then I'll done, but he's not saying any of those kind of things. You know what I'm saying to you, like at this point. So it's like I'm looking at him like, bro, like, what are you trying to say? But yeah, like I said, I think just that little part when we go backwards, we'll probably hear what he was. Yeah.
And I think if Ashley told him, go get them kids, he would do it. Because though she don't like his people pleasing, as long as it fits her and her agenda, is great. If she was to say, go get them kids, he'll go get them kids. But she don't want them kids either. So that's why they want to start this new world of giving Ashley her first child with a man who having his first child. But he don't have a first child already. So it's just like, that world is already erased. Let's not do that. But instead of fixing it and just saying, hey, I'll give you your first child, though this is my fourth, and let me get my kids, we're going to just erase the kids altogether. F them kids. Just take them.
And we ignored it. She was trying to, there's parts and pieces where they'll show you her character and the entire world will miss it. Another example, the terrible thing that people are running with, you're saying sperm babies, don't call them sperm babies. Her mom, I don't know where we heard that from.
Did I not go back far enough? Let me go back a little bit more.
God dog it. Hold on, let me go back.
Okay.
She leaves, she comes back. She lets her leave, she lets her come back. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's very, she'll do anything for a relationship. And when I say she, I mean Bride. She wants a family and a household so bad that she'll accept someone back. And Deshaun will go back after being physically abused. And that's the crazy part, that people skim over certain areas. And I don't want to harp on it, but if I was married before and my wife came out and said that I physically abused her.
It's a wrap, boy. It's a wrap for you. Your life is over.
It don't matter what you say after that.
Nope.
You're going to clip that one part.
Your career's over.
But she came out and said that about her and we ignored it. She was trying to, there's parts and pieces where they'll show you her character and the entire world will miss it. Another example, the terrible thing that people are running with, you're saying sperm babies, don't call them sperm babies. Her mom, I don't know where we heard that from. Again, I didn't watch it. I'm just telling off what I heard. Bride then gets on live and say they were mistakes.
She said that on her channel? Or
no, on live. She was on live with someone. And she said that the twins were mistakes. So imagine these kids growing up watching their mom.
She's saying that basically y'all had relations, as old folks say, and she got pregnant.
But then you're gonna call them a mistake.
Well, she called it oops. We got some oopses.
Imagine if your mom or my mom got online and said you were a mistake.
Oh, it'll crush me.
So that's what I'm saying. So you can't. I just want to be clear that it stopped being about the kids a long time ago. Because you slip up on your smear Tyler campaign, you slip up and your character your mask slips up a couple of times.
I think what she was saying in the mistake was it wasn't a planned pregnancy. And so a lot of times people say words that be like, that's not the best word to say, because if I was a kid and I heard you say it was a mistake, then I feel like my life is a mistake. So it's not good for the kids to hear that at all.
But the thing are, people can depict my words and break them down.
Every day.
I'm sitting on the reunion and I say those kids, and that's all I've heard. Those kids. How you dare you say those kids? But she can say mistake, and it's just.
And you got to be careful about saying my kids because they're not legally your kids.
And that's the thing. They're born into a marriage.
I don't know Maryland law. Somebody that's out of Maryland, y'all know Maryland law. Please help us on this part right here, because I don't know. I don't know how the biology thing works. If the biological father can claim them, or it just has to be the married people, or do they even hold in Maryland? Do they even hold the community, the LGBTQ plus community? Do they hold their rights as the same as ours? Whoever is in here that's in legal or whatever and understands Maryland law, please let me know. Please, either if you're on Kojo's channel, put it in his comments. If you're on my channel, put it in my comments. Just let me know, because I'm confused.
And per Maryland law,
unless, like I said, it's legal if it was the mistake that she's alluding to, the saying that y'all had consensual sex and had a kid, and by, you know, the activity birthed a child, then that is your child, whether that was planned or not.
And people are avoiding the dates as well. Go see when the kids were born, and they'll show you when she was divorced as well.
People avoid dates. He done avoided about 50 dates through this whole interview. What? Because your dates for bride's pregnancy and your ex being your fiance is confusing. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to stop, but let me continue. Is it okay if I put on 1.5? Okay, because this speed going a little rough for me.
No, tell us. I ain't gonna go research.
No, I'm just saying I don't know the exact dates, but it's her divorce was after the twins were born. So
her divorce was after the twins were born.
Yes, and that's what people don't realize is this. I just can't harp on it enough.
So you're saying that to say what?
That this isn't black and white, and the conversations of let's clear this up as well. The text message of Ashley's not my type.
Oh, so you sent the text message. Who sent it?
Wait, before he try to jump on the Ashley is not my type. This is not black and white because you was having an affair, sir. You was having an affair with a married woman, sir. That's why it's not black and white. It don't matter. It's not about if the kids were born in the marriage. It's how they were conceived. These two gay women, Latarius just told you, these two gay women can't have a baby on their own. So one of y'all was having an affair. If nobody went to the clinic, let's just own that part. Can we just own that part, Tyler? That's why I just want him to own that. I was having an affair with Bride, and these twins was conceived out of that affair.
To who?
That I sent to Bride. So you're saying that she's not my type and all these other things, and I'm gonna go through what led up to last year because people are blaming the show that I left the kids for the show and different other things. Yes. I just want to make sure I touch on these certain points. Ashley, being my type, part of going on the show was
to date somebody outside the type.
So, and I've told everyone knows that I've had a type, right?
What is your type? Little light skin?
That's who I used to date all the time. Yep. But what I want to be clear is Ashley's beauty, and you'll watch it. I've never not told Ashley that she's beautiful. She's gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous. So I lucked out.
As a man, am I supposed to agree with you on this or not?
No, I mean,
I'm saying y'all say yes, she is. Your wife bad enough. She's fine.
No.
I'm trying to see how do I participate? How do I give you a safe space?
No. I'm safe.
All right, cool.
I just want to be clear that
I was gonna validate
she's gorgeous. So my thing was saying not my type was she's not someone I usually dated.
Right.
But her personality 10 times better than anyone I ever dated. Her soul, the way she brings God out of me, all these things.
Good. The reason why the show is Love is Blind.
And the thing is, it was blind because I even said it wasn't shown that I didn't care what she looked like. I was going to be with that person. That's how deeply
people say that. Is that true? Because I don't believe it. I believe people lying. Because people lying. They say that if it don't, I don't care. I had this connection with them, and I've seen it happen more times than not. Them doors are opened up, and they'll look, and you see disappointment on their face. So, and then they try to make it work, and then for whatever reason, they can't connect, and it ends before they get married. At the end
so I got to say, I've been running with it that love is blind. Love is blind. You have to be physically attracted at some point to someone because it does become intimate. So I get that. I don't know. I can't.
He's going to start fidgeting with this ring a lot too, by the way, all of a sudden during this segment.
And speak on it. If Ashley wasn't who she was, this beautiful woman, would the interaction been different? I don't know. But what I can say is I have my wife and she's beautiful. And, and it did come out, it played in my favor.
Right. I say love is blind, but like ain't.
That's true. There you go.
Because if you look, I like the way she looks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you may love it, be like, man, I just love the way she makes me feel. I love, how she covers me. I love that she brings out the God in me, that we're praying together. And I like the way she looks. And I like all the benefits that come along with it.
She is the total package. I feel like I wouldn't have met her in any other circumstance, right? Because I had my mind so programmed on the type of women that I did date or like.
But you're saying, but did a text message exist where you sent it to Bride saying she's not your type? Even if you did, it's fine.
No, it was a text message that did exist. I didn't say she wasn't my type. I said it's not someone I usually date, but she's nice. I kept it very brief. Okay, I didn't give her any detail, but the whole world's like, how dare you? No, she's not nice. She's an extremely kind soul. And the other thing that people are saying is that I'm hiding behind God, and they're just mad that I'm standing on a strong foundation now.
They said you pray too much. You was praying too much on the show, and they knew something was wrong with you.
That's Ashley, and it wasn't shown. You gotta understand, it had so much hours of film. This is an edited show.
Of course.
Ashley made me feel safe. I told her in the pause that I always wanted to pray out loud, and how her deep relationship with God is, it makes me comfortable. The same way that I'm able to sit here and you make this space comfortable, she makes a space with God comfortable. So me praying out loud was probably the first time in years that I can ever remember praying out loud. Now I'm doing it not just in front of my new fiance, I'm doing it in front of cameras.
So we didn't see the prep coming up.
You just see me sitting there praying because I said I want to pray with us every night. If you're telling me I'm safe and I can talk, because I don't know, I feel like I didn't know how to pray. If you're saying that's okay, she made me so comfortable and so safe that I did it.
And we just didn't see that.
No, you just see me like, I don't know.
Ashley bring out a lot of this man because he don't cry. He said earlier he don't cry, but up until the show he was crying all over the daggone place. Child. Ashley is God's sent, baby. Y'all better get y'all Ashley. Y'all men's out there better get y'all an Ashley, okay? She is doing God's work. She's bringing God out of men. She's bringing the tears out of men. Ashley is the one, baby.
I pray in my head all the time. So she gave me this comfortable safe space to be able to pray. She's changed me in better ways. You know, how Garrett says that his fashion, he always had it in him, but Taylor brought that out of him.
Yeah.
I've always had this love for God.
Yeah.
Now I have a partner that brings it out of me. So it's a little different.
Well, speaking of this love for God, what's up with these freak offs that they accuse you of?
Man.
Because it was God there, was God over here at the freak offs.
I wouldn't know what freak. I didn't have no type of parties. I ain't gonna say no names. No, there were no freak offs. There was no Diddy parties.
So why people? So now listen, because this is what happened before you said I do. You can own it.
Absolutely.
So I'm saying you made because you said you was in them streets. I listen to what people say. You said again, I was in these streets. How bad were the streets? Tyler, was you out here doing threesomes and all this other stuff?
Come on.
They say you was in freak offs. They said Brian was sitting in the corner watching you doing.
That's wild work. That is. Listen, when I tell you wild, I'm in the streets. I'm not gonna lie about that. Everyone's dabbled in the streets a little bit.
Don't put everybody else. We talking about Tyler in this thing.
Tyler dabbled in the streets. All right,
we talking about Tyler, not everybody else.
Freak off threesomes with Brian in the corner? Absolutely not.
Well, was she in the bed?
No, she was no.
Okay, so in the corners and all this other stuff.
There was no.
So who? So why would people just come up? And I know
people. It's one person, and that's the thing. It was Brian's ex-wife. Why would you? If I do something with, say, one of my friends, because I'm not throwing my relationship on the bus, and they're married, right? And they do something. Why would I then go tell my friend's wife that, hey, this was going on? So how would I? I was never that.
I need to rewind that. What? Where are we at right now? Because what? I don't know if I just jumped forward or not. Let me see.
So why would people just come up? And
I know people. It's one person, and that's the thing. It was Brian's ex-wife. Why would you? If I do something with, say, one of my friends, because I'm not throwing my relationship on the bus, and they're married, right? And they do something. Why would I then go tell my friend's wife that, hey, this was going on? So how would I? I was never that comfortable or that much of a friend with her ex-wife
to go tell her that
hey, we have a freak off.
Me and your girlfriend, me and your wife, we over here doing this.
Freak off while she's in the corner. Come on, man. And then
why did he say I'm not throwing my relationship under the bus?
Great timing. Giving that train over there, just great timing. You heard about buses. You're running underneath a train at this point. You're playing too much.
What does that have to do?
Huh?
No, sorry, you're good. I said he's playing too much.
And even if it was, and it's not, just to be clear, it's not. But even if it was, why is that even important to go tell when the subject is everything else? And that's the thing that.
Well, they're saying your character is that you like, you just.
But can we not change?
Well, yeah, that's why I said.
That's why I said having freak offs, but can we not change?
I'd rather you have had freak offs and then said you changed. That makes the story more interesting.
No, the thing is, what I will take for that is.
No, you got delivered from some things.
It's telling women things that they want to hear. Okay. That's me. That's a bad part.
He's guilty for telling women things they want to hear. So you just told Deshaun that because she wanted to hear that Bri was having fingering herself in a corner while you was doing whatever.
Maybe it was worse, and he toned it down for her. Who knows? Who knows? We don't even know.
People please.
And my character is, if a woman likes me, or I can tell her like, oh yeah, I love you, or anything. Yeah. I have a bad way of doing those things, and it's not okay. Or I haven't done it, but I'm changing on those things. So when I see her say like, oh, I don't want to say her like I have the best character, I don't. I've done messed up things to women.
But which is that man is because people saying you owe all these different women money, like you're fleecing these women, like you the Tinder swindler. Was you over here fleecing women out of money?
What you can do. This is America. Anyone can sue anyone. That doesn't make them guilty.
Right.
I've never been in a courthouse. Not once. They're saying that people won lawsuits against me. I have never stepped foot in a single courtroom until recently with all this nonsense. I still haven't stepped. It was a Zoom call. I've tried to stay out of courthouse because
contempt of court is not stepping foot in the courthouse.
That's the whole point. And you physically stepping in the courthouse up when you're not getting sued. You're still getting sued. You don't have to turn up if you don't want to turn up.
What?
You ain't the smartest cookie in the box.
Oh, my man, period.
This is why I actually didn't want you coming out and speaking, man. At this point, we know who's the smartest person in the relationship.
Oh, for sure. For sure. That's why she clenched that leg every so often when he got to speaking like, shush your mouth.
Shush your mouth. Shush your mouth. I've got it sorted. Shush your mouth.
So I've never stepped foot in a courtroom. It has turned into a smear campaign where everyone feels like they can get a jab. And the worst part is these people, these YouTubers or Instagrammers or TikTokers, they're giving people a platform to speak. But if you're going to be a journalist, ask them these hard questions that you're hearing about them as well.
Yeah.
You're giving these people platforms, but you don't want to disrespect them because they stepped on your platform.
Right.
Ask them the hard questions, because I was never reached out to by any of these people smearing my name. No one reached out to ask for my side. They took it, ran with it, and you got the clicks. You did your job. And at a certain status, like, cool, you get your coin. You're chasing the bag.
Well, I'm sorry, Lateris. Is he talking to you at this point, boo? Ask him the hard questions. Sorry, boo. Love you. You did a good job. Enough to get this much. We got to still ask the hard questions, okay? Because Tyler, the people that you talk about did the same. Lateris did the same for you. He didn't really give you the hard questions, just the same as Jesse and Ricky didn't give Briar Deshaun the hard questions.
That's it.
It's disrespectful because you never asked for one side, and then you're giving people platform to constantly just trash my name.
Right.
You're not asking them questions about, well, Dejan, why did you leave? Why did you walk out? Why did you come back again? If she was beating you, what made you come?
Right.
Ask the mom, like, why aren't you talking about her fiance? What's up with this other woman we're hearing about?
Well, they don't know about it until you just
they know.
So they knew she engaged with somebody.
People are ignoring it. I've had friends tell me that they've commented on these lives and then they get blocked when these comments are against these people that are on live. So they're seeing it. You're stopping it because anything other than smear Tyler don't get you paid.
Yeah, that's true. So my question is, so when they're making up all this stuff about you owe some women and this money or whatever, is that true or false?
False.
Okay. Because when you're talking about court, being in court, there's people that owe me money and I ain't took them to court. Yeah. So I was like,
but there's a court case. That's the thing. It's an online court case.
Who said they said that?
Yeah. So it's on. If you go online, it says that I went to court.
Didn't he just say it's false? I thought I heard him just say that it was false. Now it's an online court case. But you don't have to step in court for an online court case. Apparently, it's online. Shh.
I've never been to court.
So you tell me,
it's not saying online. It's not saying that I went on court. It's saying that someone filed for something. But I never, and I'm leaving people's names out because I'm trying. It's not important enough to like drag certain people.
Yeah, delete it.
But no, I've never stepped foot in a courtroom. I've never been in a courthouse.
So they're saying there's a court record showing that somebody sued you for some money.
This is the other thing. Let's clear this up as well. Sunglasses. I stole sunglasses, right? You probably didn't see that. That was the thing running around. A girl that I talked to, she had sunglasses. She came and stayed with me. She was like, hey, can you send me my sunglasses back? Yes. We're not talking money. We're talking, and this is a girl I seen one time. She came and visited once.
She said,
so she was on here claiming like, I'm his ex. I forget the year. This was years ago. And she's like, I was his ex, and all these things. I stole sunglasses. Not the case. The sunglasses, so I randomly got a package, my notification on my phone, go downstairs, look at the package. I'm like, what did I get? Ray-Bans. I have those. I wish I brought the Ray-Bans. She engraved the inside of them and they say, I love you. So now people are commenting on my picture. Give that girl her glasses back. She bought them glasses. You want them back? Take them. You can have the glasses back.
How do people be knowing about this stuff? So she made it.
When my name started getting ran around, people were out there. I'm telling you, people were running up, kicking me, and running back.
Just take them.
The beef is not about Ray-Bans. If it really was just about Ray-Bans, you wouldn't be able to quote the fact that you're seeing these lives that your apparent friends keep watching, that keep telling you stuff, but they're not telling you the fact that there was other things that were on the court aspects of what you were facing. The suing was for 10K. That was nothing to do with Ray-Bans, my guy. So you can answer that, bro. You intentionally strayed from that. And this is the only part that I wish maybe would have been a bit more pushback. But like I said, he's trying to give me a platform to be able to speak. This is probably where me and him, where my interview starts to get very techie. You know what I'm saying to you, right? Because now I've listened for a good 2 hours. I'm probably gonna have to start asking some questions like, well, didn't you say? So what happened with the 10K situation? Did that go that way? Did it not go that way? I'm just trying to wonder. Do you know what I'm saying to you? This is why I would start asking those questions. But again, this is why I also won't get the interview.
Right.
Let me keep my mouth shut.
What I'm laughing about this whole thing is you want to clear the air on everything except for the immaculate exception. You skip a skirt around how these twins was conceived, but you want to clear the air on everything else because we've been talking, for the most part, majority of the people have been talking about how these twins have been conceived. I didn't know about these Ray-Bans until this interview.
Same here. I didn't even know about this stuff either.
You know what I'm saying? The 10K wasn't of importance because it's like, okay, but she might have gifted you. I don't know. That's something, whatever. But my whole concern, and most of the people that I've seen been concerned of how these twins was conceived. You don't want to clear that up. None of that part. Okay. All right, Tyler Francis. We hear you, boo.
And she was the one running rampant. Like, I have horror stories about him. No, like I said,
She said you stole that you stole some glasses from her.
some sunglasses. We're talking
$100
$140
Yeah.
Ray-Bans that she sent me, and they're engraved. And they're engraved on the inside. So for that to even come out, I'm like, all right, come on, that's pretty wild. That's a very wild move. That's what you're running with, and then saying you have horror stories. No, I have a way of, like I said, talking to people for what they want to hear. And back then, when I was dating women, it was very casual. So yeah, you came and stayed with me for a couple of days and you left, and that's maybe it was more to you than it was to me. And I do apologize for that. That's one thing that, again, I own this. I'm sorry for being that type of person and making you believe that it was more than what it was. But you bought me sunglasses and they're still engraved. I had to show Ashley. She was like, "You're lying." I was like, look at the comments I'm getting. Return that girl's glasses. How dare you, glasses Steve?
I'll say, girl, what's your address? I'm sending you glasses.
Man,
I'll send you 2 pair.
But I don't want to talk to no one. So it's like, I don't want to talk with people trying to
Take them. Take them.
just like smear my name. And then there's another person who they're saying that I'm this terrible person. But I have text messages where they're like, "Hey, come put a baby in me. Come do all these things to me." Well, if I'm such a terrible person, why do you keep coming back to me? But when I get public and I'm on TV, it's okay to smash my name because they know that I'm not going to. But I also don't do this public drama.
Right.
I get up, people are going to say, "You put yourself on TV."
But you play on TV for drama.
Yeah, I'm going to go find love.
Yeah, because when I did this podcast, I had, I get some negative stuff here and there when I find somebody that wants to knock me off my throne, and they'll say something, and I was like, I didn't do this to get this. It just dawned on me. I was like, oh, and then, my pastor ended up telling me that's the cost you pay for being the biggest relationship podcast in the world. And I was like, man, I didn't ask for this. He said, it comes with territory. It comes with the territory. Yeah. And so it allowed me to put things in perspective. Bishop Jakes once said, when people are throwing rocks at me, 9 times out of 10, I got to look down to see where the rocks are coming from. And so it gave me perspective to let me know that once you get on a certain level, people want to get on that level, but they don't know what comes along with it. And so it allowed me to put things in perspective to be like, oh, okay, now I can endure hardship like a good soldier. Yeah. I can't be swayed by what somebody else says, especially total strangers. You can't be swayed by somebody that can't even pick up the phone and call you. That's the thing. Yeah, these people that say stuff about you, you ain't got my number. So my thing is, I've been telling people, I'm trying to avoid people who are throwing harsh words that wouldn't visit me if I was in a hospital. That part. Because if you're not going to, why should it matter? If you wouldn't even step up when something happened, if something was to happen to me, these people be like, man, sucks for Tyler. What's on tomorrow's reality TV? Exactly. No one really cares. So they're throwing these hates and they're like, you're a terrible person. I hear you. That's your personal opinion. And it does suck. It sucks hearing. Yeah, because nobody wants to be the muse of everybody's negativity, or people watching their quote unquote favorite show, them picking you apart and just tearing you apart. And now you got to go home and say, hey, babe, listen, I know they said this, but this ain't true. And this right here, this is where they're taking this from. This did happen, but it didn't quite happen like that. And you're just explaining all this stuff in the first year of marriage, and marriage is difficult enough. It's mad. And so now you got to carry all the weight of everybody else's opinion while you're still trying to establish a foundation and a knowledge of each other. Yes. And so it's just, it's bad on all fronts. And this has affected our marriage. I want to be very clear that this has like drastically changed our dynamic. Not that we don't love each other and we're still not best friends, but these, like you said, marriage in general, we just touched 1 year yesterday. Right. So we just had our 1 year anniversary. We had to set our phones down. We didn't want to post about our anniversary because we don't want people to taint that experience. Or you've already tainted our love story. Yeah. But I don't want you to taint our sacred day now. So we didn't even post about our anniversary, and we're trying to navigate this the best way we know how. And your anniversary date is what? The 16th. The 16th of November. Yeah.
Child, they taking my baby birthday. Y'all listen, the November 16th is no longer Ashley and Tyler's anniversary. That is my child's birthday. Okay, she was born before them, so she come first. Y'all don't have to taint it. Don't taint their birthday. Don't worry about it.
Lit fam, I want y'all to leave a comment and say, congratulations on your anniversary. I want to see, he only know that. 16. Because when I said it, I was like, I know I'm right. I was confident with that. And I was like, if Ashley sees this, she's like, man, like, just one thing. One job. Yeah. So the reality is, because I have a very healthy community. So I want them to show love. I want them to affirm y'all and just say congratulations on your anniversary on November. It's a 1 year anniversary. Yes. So congratulations on the 1 year anniversry on November the 16th, and just spread love, speak words of affirmation, affirm them. And that's what I need y'all to do. I do want to say that this will be and again, I'm accepting all hate, all love. If you are very confused, this is not my only time I'm going to go in depth with this, because again, I feel like a lot of things are still private. A lot of things are between me and my wife, and whatever they want to continue to try to expose, that's on them and that's their family. I have a union to protect right now, and this will be the only platform that I go in depth with this. And I want to let everyone know that this will be the only time. You say you're going to be going back and forth. I get to watch other people in their marriages, or they get to go talk about their love life, and they get to talk about their experience and everything great that happened. I don't get to share any of that. You get to defend. Yeah, people want to hear. On defend. Me and Ashley have so much to talk about, so much to enjoy about each other. So when we talk, or we talk as a couple next time, it's going to have to be a very respectable, very loving conversation. We don't want to harp on this anymore. We'll let the courts or whoever else figure it out moving forward. But I don't want to sit and harp on a situation that we have spent a year getting through, that we are now forced to relive. And I get the world doesn't know. And I said it, people hated it. The only explanation I owe to is my wife. If anything is brought up she's not privy to. People think that I saw someone say, yeah, you do. We are entitled. You signed up for a show. You're entitled if they say nice things. I'm not entitled to respond to them if they say nice things. Thank you. And I appreciate it. Thanks for the love. But this is my real life, my real marriage. So the negative things, I am not entitled to sit up here and tell this. I'm doing this only because I want to now talk about me and my wife's experience. We got married on a very unconventional way, and I would love to go out and talk about it. Yeah. And Black love itself is rare. Right. And what's also crazy, Black people online are the ones tearing us down. Absolutely. You're getting torn down by your own people. Absolutely. They will post on their page and say, I support Black women, and then you'll get on live and say,
That's just a bird. That's not
Yeah.
supporting Black women.
Yep.
That's not supporting Black women.
No lies told there.
I'm not asking you to support my relationship because you don't understand it. But don't say you support a specific race or gender and then go against that.
You just spoke the gospel truth there. My question is this: hindsight 2020, and I know you said you don't like to live in regret, but when you look back over this whole situation, what do you think you could have done better?
The entire experience
I'm
overall.
talking about from the day you donated sperm all the way to the moment that you released this information to your fiance at the time, all the way to the time of this reunion show. You know, when you look back at that, you go, dang it, man, if I had a magic wand, I would have did this, I would have did that, I would have did this.
I would have been more upfront with Ashley at first, so we can have time to figure out throughout filming how to navigate. I feel like the way I threw it on her, she had no choice but to be like, it's on camera. And that's how tough she is. People, you know, again, say that she's not this tough person. She made me talk about it on camera.
I know it. I heard.
So I wish I did that differently. I would never wish that those kids weren't born, because these are, again, these are innocent kids and they are a blessing. So I can't take that. I wish I had more in-depth conversations with Bri.
With me, so I could told you this is foolishness.
No, that's honestly, like I said, I grew up without a father. My father figure was my uncle, my mom's brother. And he's tough, rugged, love him to death. I have a cousin that's my age. He's like my best friend, but that was my father figure. But he was still, you know, he wasn't my father. So I wish I had a mentor. I wish I had someone to speak to.
And by all means, I believe in donating. I believe in all that, whatever it takes.
He's a father figure. He's a mentor. What you mean? You wish you had somebody to talk to. You clearly have a male cousin that's your age. You have people to talk to. You're just choosing not to. You're choosing not to because you already know what they're going to tell you. Especially if you say that the uncle is tough and rugged or whatever, you already know he was going to tell you you in some foolishness. You don't need a daddy for that. There's a bunch of male role models out here. You don't need a daddy for that. He likes to frustrate me.
To help people bring a life into this world and all that. I just believe that there should be clear expectations. And that's with anything. If you're not clear about it and all that, then it gets real this.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I will say what Ashley said in private, where she's like, you should have moved completely different. You moved like a fool at that time. And that's what she did say to me. And like I said, I will never disclose our private conversation, but that's one thing where she's like, I don't like how you moved in your 20s at all. And I don't like it either, because I thought in my late 20s that I had it figured out. I was like, man, I'm old. I got it all figured out. There's nothing anyone can tell me. And now being 35, I live 3 lives. I live 4 lives. I feel like I'm in a whole different era of my life. And I know people want to judge me based off what people are telling you in the past. But I can sit here and say I'm not that same person.
So you mentioned about court. You just went to court last week. You said it was a Zoom meeting, and y'all have another court date in the future. What is trying to be established in these hearings?
Money. That's the only thing they want is money.
So put you on child support?
That's exactly what it is. They're just trying to get money, and that's another.
What it is, trying to put you on child support?
Yes, and that's trying to get money for child support. And they're okay with me not being in their lives.
So they're not trying to fight for visitation. They're not saying
there has never been a custody battle. When I've had conversations with Bri, it's never, until recently, she's like, hey, don't do this again. But it's only don't do this again because you're arguing with your wife or your fiance. So whenever you're in cahoots with your person, then it's like, Tyler, come around, like be around.
I don't like how Latarius framed that, because it's not about what they're fighting for. It's about what Tyler's fighting for. What are you fighting for, Tyler? What do you want to happen with the court case? If it's about just money for them, what do you want it to be about? That's the question. The question is directed to Tyler. It's not about what Bri, whoever she with, want. What do you want out of this court case to happen? Do you want to be relieved from these kids? Just take them, let them go. She got them. Do you want to just pay financially or whatever? You don't want to pay financially. What is it that Tyler wants out of the court case? Not what Bri wants. We don't care what Bri wants. We know what Bri wants. Bri put you on child support. It's clear what she wants. Child support. Do you want joint custody? Do you want full custody? What do you want, Tyler? That's the question. Just answer. Do you not want these kids or not? Don't sit here and say they're fine with you not being alive, because when you say they're fine with you not being alive, that tells me that you said, I don't want to be in their life. And they said, okay, cool. What do Tyler want?
A little more. But when it's not, when you're all in love and you're wrapped up in that situation playing house, then we're not worried about Tyler. So if you watch, at no point has she said, I really just want these kids to have their father. At the end of every conversation, Bri said, I just want what's owed to me, money. And then her mom has said, if he dies tomorrow, I'm okay with that. They'll get Social Security. How are these people's character not being questioned?
She said on the live video?
Yes. And I would never do that. I wouldn't sit here and wish death on none of them. I would never. And again, for
Cole, I don't know if you're hearing it like me, but it's still not about the kids' well-being in this situation. You're worried about what Bri wants, about the money and all this stuff like that. If she's just concerned about the money, okay, fine. Guess what? I have the money over here. I'm going to take the kids with me. because they sound like they would be better off with me because you obviously are struggling for money. So let me just go ahead and get the kids. You on mute.
I was saying it's not about the kids at all. He hasn't got the kids on his mind at all. Again, it's gone back to the beef between himself and Bri. It's again, that's where he's placed himself. It's the beef between himself and Bri. That is obviously where most of his concern actually lies. It doesn't lie with the kids at all. Kids ain't an issue. Kids ain't an issue.
For me to even help you have a family, protect your family at certain points, for you to get on live and try to trash me, you were never a friend.
No,
I was just a come up and you were waiting to figure out how to cash out.
Yeah.
Because there was no plans for me ever to be on TV and for you to say I'm a private person, but now your Instagram's public and now you're verified and now you're getting on lives. When were you private? Before I went on the show?
Does she have a good job?
Oh yeah, she works. The crazy thing is she's in a top secret clearance job in the military where she shouldn't even be putting her business out there like that. It's a very secret top job.
Really?
Trust me, it's called the dark side. You can't, it's not, I can't even give you content on what she does because it's so top secret. So for her blast her life out there, she wouldn't have been able to go do a show like this.
Well, Bri, is that her real name?
Brian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Not you gonna dox her whole life right now though. She work at a top secret dark side.
He said, since she came out, let me tell her a little bit more. I won't tell you all, but let me tell you a little bit more. She shouldn't even be coming out. You know what I mean? He's basically saying what we're saying, but in a different context. Where he's saying basically, you shouldn't be coming out. Like you know, you got a top secret job. Why are you coming out? Which is why I think he's questioning her motive. But again, it's still going to be about the kids because you can't deflect from the fact that you're involved, Tyler. So you're still deflecting. I do believe it's true for what you're saying. I'm asking the same question. If she has got a top secret job, I don't know why she's coming out. Again, it further enhances why I don't think she'll be coming out. But like I said, when you're emotional and you're tied in emotionally to people, you do say you come out and do some stuff that you don't need to do. Because she didn't need to come out because she could have still nailed you without it. But the reality of the situation is it doesn't make a difference to your situation. You are still missing. And the twin situation, we have not discussed as to whether you slept with her consensually, not consensually, but whether it was you guys slept together and been hunching and had these twins. So it doesn't make a difference.
And it don't help the case that you want to sit here and claim that they came to you because they didn't have money for a donor. She has a top secret job. That is a lot of money, it sounds like, to do what she needs to do. She got a good paying job. So I don't know how we got into this in the first place when you didn't look at her and just be like, hey, sis, you got money. You got money, go get a donor. It sounded like she had one. Now, if y'all came out and said, hey, we agreed to pay him $10K to don or whatever and stuff like that, that's a whole different thing. But you sound like you volunteered to do this for free. You donated your stuff, you donated your seed for free. It's wild to me. Like, damn, did you even get a tax write-off? Could you even get that? I don't know, man. This guy. This interview didn't help, but all right.
if you got a job like that in the military, why would you be on TikTok doing stuff like that?
Is clout that important? And the thing is, even if I'm saying something wrong or doing something wrong, check me. I protected your family. I helped you have a family. You can check me. You want to go on social media and smear me because the person that you hated the most, her mom, she's hated her mom for a long time. You are now becoming her. And it's crazy because they don't have the best of relationships. They never have because of she doesn't like what her daughter is. But now you're becoming this person. And I see it before my eyes.
Let me ask you this. Is she trying to get child support on all 3 kids?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. She wants, and it's a money thing. And it's because if you were okay with your family and what you have going on, you would just be like, look, Tyler, he walked away. I don't want anything to do with it. She won't do that because it's more, there's people donating online. This woman said that.
It's not a money thing. It's the hurt you thing.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna nail ya.
Yeah. It's to get payback on you thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's not because of the show either, because apparently this was before then.
Yep.
She decided, because this is the second time she's filing for this child support. She did it once before and she dropped it, she said, because you said you will step up and you lost your job and all this stuff. So you will help out emotionally and mentally and being present in the child's life, but you just couldn't do it financially. So she said, okay, I'll take you off of child support. So you manipulated her then to take you off of child support. And then when you disappeared again, or she pushed you out, whichever way it go, she put you back on child support. So it's not about the money. It's about hurting you. A lot of times child support ain't even about the money for some people. And if she has a good paying job that is doing all this stuff, it's not about the money. Stop saying that, Tyler. It's not about the money. It's about hurting you. I would prefer him just to own that part. Like it's about hurting me. She just want to get back at me. She want to get back at me for whatever reason. Then I'll definitely be on that bandwagon of Bride wants Tyler and whatnot. But she want to hurt you. She want to hurt you. Because if they don't want you in the life, they just want the money. She just wants to hurt you. That's how I just look at it. Like,
her ex-wife said she beat her. So now we just created domestic violence GoFundMe. What are we talking about here? Like, that, if I was to do that, if a woman came out and said that I beat her, I would be crucified. There's no way that gets blown over. That shows you a person's character.
So when these kids were born, in summation, even though nothing wasn't written and agreed upon, it was understood explicitly that you were not supposed to be an active participant financially or due to time and visitation in these kids' life.
When the twins were born, I was. I had agreed that I would be in their lives. I would help financially. I would do these things.
And at what point was that? Before they were born? After they were born? When did
Before they were born. Before the twins were born. Yep. I said that I would step in. I would help. And then that's when the situation gets sticky, where I'm being pushed out for her relationships, because she like I said, goes and.
Sometimes the wife comes back, wants to expand their family. When did the conversation say you're going to be involved?
I want to say a month, 2 months after figuring out she was pregnant, her wife was already gone.
She came and expanded, then she leaves, then the kid. Now
she's pregnant. Yeah, she tried to get an abortion. She couldn't. So when she couldn't get an abortion, I was like, look, I'm here. I'll be here for you. These are still biologically my kids. And I've never denied any of that.
It's written right here. Biologically my kids, and I never denied any of that. And I did step up. I was around. You made an agreement. You broke the agreement. She's now taking you to court. That's how contracts work. You should have omitted all of this part right here. I know Ashley says she don't like omitted, but it would have worked in their favor. He should have omitted all of this part right here. He should have never said any of this part right here, because all this part right here can be used against him, because you're now saying these kids. This is the second time he actually say my kids. This is the first time he says it as literally, these are my kids. The twins are yours because they were conceived. The wife was gone. You just got through telling us Deshawn was gone. So how did Deshawn want to extend her family and just dip? Like, oh, as soon as she get pregnant, let's dip. I want to extend the family, but I just dip. We got to go back to that lie right there. Then you want to sit here and be like, I stepped up. I promised her I would be here for these kids. I would be here. But you disappeared. You promised the kids. This is the thing that you keep saying you promised Bride, but the promise is to the kids. Even though they might not be of age to understand this promise, the promise is to the kids. It's not to Bride. So Bride can't push you out. Bride's girlfriends, fiancés cannot push you out. You are the biological father. Go to court. She push you out. Guess where I'm going to be at? The court office. Because you got one more time to push me out and ask me for money. If you want money from me, I'm going to get my time with my kids. Guess what? I might mess around and get money from you because you got a better paying job. I might get the full custody because I have proof you are abusive to your ex-wife. Tyler, you could have been getting paid for these kids. I'm sorry, Coach. You was about to say something.
No, I wasn't. You're good. Okay.
This is unbelievable. See, he need to quit while his head. This interview went on too long. He was supposed
way
to
too long, and he got too much rope to talk.
And I did step up. I was around, but to say I was an active, that's so far fetched. The girls, if you watch the video, the twins, her mom's trying to convince them who I am. They don't know because I wasn't around them for 4 years.
So you wanted to be involved, but then she pushed you out, and then you just said, all right, well, I'm done. She don't want me involved, and that's it.
Yeah.
But now she's blaming you that you're not involved.
Right, correct. Because it came back around where we talked, and I was like, look, because again, people pleaser is a fault of mine. And I love my friends. There's nothing that I wouldn't do for them. And especially seeing kids, my niece, I talk to them every day. And when I came back into their lives, I was like, look, I'll try. And her asking me back in their lives was, again, I'm starting to realize there's a pattern. You're arguing with this girl you're dating. Then when y'all are good, we're not worried. The only thing I get is, I need some money. Can you send me some money? I'm funding your house. You don't want me to have
so you would randomly come and ask for money for what?
anything. Like even flights. When they would take flights, I was like, okay, I'll send you money. They would go fly to be in Louisiana with her grandmother. I would send them money for flights. Just little things that they would constantly just. And then when she has a family now, this woman she's dating has 2 more kids. Her fiance has 2 more kids. So it's a house of 5. I bet it's rough. But why am I, why do I have to fund that when I don't get to be a part of every day? I don't know what school they were going to. I was not disciplining them. I don't know what was going on day to day. The kids were getting like hurt, and then I would see them and they would have scratches and bruises or stitches. And I'm like, what happened? Oh, we forgot to tell you. We forgot to tell you. The fiance knew. And to put it into perspective, this room, we're sitting in this room. If there's 3 people that's extremely close to my life, my mom, my brother, and my sister. They all have kids. I talk to them all the time. My nieces are all tatted on me. Those kids aren't tatted on me. So that's one thing. If we stood in this room, just these people here, and brought the kids in, they couldn't point out who my mom was. They couldn't point out who my brother was.
They never met your mom?
No, they met her, but they couldn't point her out.
They only seen her one time?
Yes.
Little. I mean, they're how are they now? That picture was 4 or 5.
They've seen her. They see my mom
They're 7
twice.
now, right?
Yeah, they see my mom twice. So for people to say he's active father, he backed out, how's his family and friends? Some of my friends have never met him. Has never met the kids. And I'm telling you, if in this room, I talk to my niece, I could FaceTime my niece right now, and she would be ecstatic, jumping wall to wall. And that's my niece. If the kids walked in the room and my mom, my brother, my sister were sitting on this couch, they wouldn't know who they were.
Some of my friends never met my daughter either. There's some people that men in my life, based off of the relationship that we have, they never met my daughter either. There was a lot of people that was in my life at one time that didn't even know I had a kid because I don't post her and stuff to keep my privacy of my kid, to protect my kid in that certain rate. But not all of my people in my life know my daughter. That's how I keep my child protected. That means nothing. But you're telling me that your mom only seen these kids once or twice? Why? Because did you keep the lie of the uncle, or did your mom just agree to keep the lie of the uncle with you? So she just said, I'm going to keep the distance from the kids. I need the full truth on that. When you decided that you was going to go to court and help Bride get these kids back, and you going to claim them and all this stuff like that, your mom didn't say, hey, okay, bring the kids around? I don't think he has a very close relationship with his mom like he want to pretend he does too. He might just not have a close relationship with her. Mm-hmm.
How is that an active parent? That's not how I see my life.
Would they say you were active at a certain point, or were they saying they were active up until
the way they're making it
old?
seem, her mom was saying that I was there every weekend. I had them for I kept them on weekends.
At what age, babies?
I never kept them for weekends. I never had them for weekends. When I lived in one specific apartment, they stayed with me one time, and then in Arlington, they visited.
Why does he just keep bringing up, I never had them for weekends? We know that. You had them Monday through Friday.
One time, I lived in Arlington for 3 to 4 years. So it was never active. The thing is, if they can make you believe, sit there and make you believe that, you can hate Tyler more.
Exactly.
And then the thing is, but why do you want that? Someone tell me, what is the point of this? What is the point? If you want money, there's a court for that.
Yeah.
If you want something else, there's something for that. But why get on here and trash a person who's done nothing but try to help?
Because she could be looking at it like you aren't trying to help. That you are on this big platform, your life is looking extremely great, and she's suffering dealing with raising your kids
with her fiance that she chose, and their kids.
Yep. From a traditional standpoint.
And that's the key point, which is why I said that you can hold space for multiple things being true. I know some people can't do it because the intelligence level is a bit low, but we can actually do it. Like there are several, you can hold several truths. Like Tyler is a deadbeat, no matter how he tries to lie and get around it. He's a deadbeat, and he's dodging paying that child support, and he's doing a very bad job of even trying to even lie, right? But he does have a point here in the sense of he's right. If she just wanted the money, wanted to just get paid for it, so what are you alluding to, bro? Because you're alluding to something. What are you alluding to? Which means you're alluding to the fact that she wants you, or that she still has feelings for you, and that's why it's become such an option for her to come and publicly get at you. Because you're right, she could have, and I've said this before. You said the same thing I've said, which is she could have gone behind the scenes and got her money, and you'd have been held in contempt if you didn't go, and you should have got her money if it was about the money. But it's not about the money, because it does hurt also, and that's to be real. It does hurt. It does get feeling triggered. Like, how come you're able to win still, and I'm stuck with the children? And yeah, I might get your money, but I'm not. My life can't progress in that particular way because I'm now stuck with the kids. Mm-hmm. And that is a real thing. And I think people just need to be honest about it. That is a real thing. So then it comes off as being quote unquote bitter, whether we understand it or not. it's irrelevant. It then comes off as being bitter, which is fair. It's fine. We understand that perspective, and if we can understand that perspective, we can also understand the fact that Tyler's a deadbeat. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying to you? I think we can see all different truths as well in that aspect.
Exactly. She's definitely a bitter baby mom. She wasn't bitter with the first one because there was agreement, but with the twins,
It was unplanned.
Feelings were involved.
And that's where he's going to get called out. Because, bro, why has she got feelings then? Because since the children are sperm children, why does she have feelings? Why is she concerned about your you know, when obviously the tourist breaks it down like that, he should be like, no, that's not what it is. Because that's not what it is. No, he should be to say that's not what it is. Because you know that she has no feelings for you. So you know there's something deeper. So that's where you're going to be held accountable again, because in reality, then we now know that something happened with those twins that were not as like the first child, because something about that situation seems to be more than actually what's been let on now.
And you add that to the fact that you cannot have a relationship with this woman while you're in any relationship with anybody else, because it's already too complicated. If it was just a donation, if it was just vows or capsules, you should be able to still have a friendship with her, despite, because I didn't actually insert myself in her. I gave her some sperm in a cup, a glass, whatever the case may be. They've cryovac'd it and kept it for years and stuff like that. I agreed for the second set of twins, but I never actually physically touched this woman. It should be easy. I can still be friends with her because I've never had relations. You know why we cut this person off? You know why we cut a friend off like this? Because there was something involved. Because somebody liked somebody. Didn't we just have this whole conversation about having to cut friends off because somebody likes somebody? This is why. Y'all had something going on already. You and Mrs. Jones.
Point is the same thing. If I fathered some kids in a traditional sense, and I go off, live happily ever after with my new wife, and then the mother of my child is struggling trying to take care of my three kids with that's what she is associating her lifestyle with, is saying that here I am taking care of these three kids, Tyler in and out. He meets a new woman, he forget all about it, because I have homegirls that deal with that as well, and they get a new woman, they forget all about the kid and the woman, then she's coming off like that. So my question to you is that when you look back at that, you know, what do you want to happen in this situation? For her to disappear?
No, I don't think she'll ever disappear. So that's the thing. She'll never go away. You can.
Why you say that?
I mean, how do you disappear?
She just say you're no longer. I know some women that have you can't even mention the father of their kids. It's done. Their life don't exist with them. They have raised their kids and went on about their business, and they're like, I'm your mom and your daddy.
Yeah, I mean, that's how my mom was. But like I said, my mom also didn't exclude my dad from ever trying to be around when he was.
I'm talking about disappear. I'm talking about the extreme. Your daddy don't exist. He don't get to come in and come out. It's done. I'm saying, what do you want?
I want them to have their family and leave me alone.
Okay.
That's honestly what I want, because at this point, even if I put in the back of my mind that I can have a relationship with them, I wouldn't want to be attached to that family. Not the kids per se, because again, innocent kids, beautiful kids.
No, but you just said attached to their family. No kids are attached to family.
I'm just saying, but they come with everyone else.
So I get baby mama. Yeah. I may not like the mother of my child, but I will never prioritize my feelings over that. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I would never prioritize the feelings that I have for a bad relationship over my kids. Respect. That's the terrorist. That's just how I operate. I'll stand on that. I don't care if the mother of my child lied to me, accused me of abuse, tried to broke the windows out my car like Jasmine Sullivan. I'll be like that.
I'm gonna answer this question. This right here. LaShawn said, I don't understand what she's bitter about other than ghosting her children. We saw the text message in full support of him finding love, and she's in a full-blown relationship. Doesn't stop me from having feelings for a person that I slept with. Does not stop me from having feelings for a person that I slept with and feel it some way internally. Sometimes we disguise our support to mask that we know that we just deep down inside cannot be with that person. So we just like, I want you to be happy too. She may be bitter that she can't have her secret romance with him no more because they've been secret lovers and stuff. And now she's cut off completely off. She probably thought that she still have ties with him. There's a lot of different ways that she would be bitter. It's not just about the kids being ghosted or whatever, but there's feelings definitely involved with this situation. That's why she's bitter. The same way as why he's bitter, because he's bitter up here too, because he keeps talking about how he gets pushed out every time she gets somebody new. It shouldn't matter if she gets somebody new or whatnot. That's not the arrangement that they have. You're a friend. Why do you care if she gets somebody new? She's supposed to have a relationship. He shows his support in a different type of way. He gets mad and disappears.
That woman is crazy. Yes. But I'm going to love you, child, and I'm going to show you how to honor and respect. I'm going to honor and respect your mother because that's your mother, but we ain't going to have a relationship, but you're going to watch me honor and respect her.
Absolutely.
And then when that child comes of age, my child will look at me and be like, you know what? I've never heard you say nothing negative about my mama. And she always says something negative about you. I said, I know.
That's what I was gonna ask. So you wouldn't be concerned of them running your name when you're not around? Because
there's a quote in that office. When we get done, you're gonna walk over there. It's a quote God gave me. Let your character outlive their lie. God told me that years ago. Let your character outlive their lie. Does it hurt? Absolutely. But I believe that through consistent character showing, the person will look and be like, you're nothing like I've heard. The reality is, it's your kid. If you're being an active participant in that kid's life, if it was active, no matter what that mom says or that father says about that child, the child is smart. The child will look at me like, my mama never says nothing bad about my daddy. My daddy always talking about my mama this, my mama that, or whatever. And that child will keep growing up, starts getting to their own thinking. 12 years old saying, I want to go spend time with my daddy. Why you always want to go to your daddy's house? It just feels like peace over there. Don't know it. That child want to articulate it.
Bad, yeah.
No, but they just feels like peace over there. Yeah. And so that child later on will begin to speak at 16, 17, 18, 25 and be like, I want a man like you, daddy. You like, why you say that? Because I watched how you treated my mama. And my mama used to drag you in and out of court. My mom used to do this. You should talk bad about you. She would do this, whatever. And I watch you stand tall as a king. See, that's what people don't want to talk about. So when I talk about having a healthy platform, it's not just having a cute video and interviews. It's the life that we live behind the scenes to say, you can say whatever you want to say about me, but I'm not going to validate what you say by my character. Yeah. So my character is going to either give credence and validation behind what they are saying, which makes it the truth, or you look at it and be like, that's a lie. Yeah. And the reality is that's the power you have. The power you have, whether you acknowledge these kids as your biological kids or not, those kids are going to grow up one day and they're going to get whatever feeling they have about their dad. Yeah. And you have the opportunity to show them what narrative they speak about. Absolutely. Or whether they're going to be spending years in trauma and therapy unpacking trauma because they like, well, y'all quit sending me these videos that happened in 2024.
And that's honestly, that's the part that does kill the most. Innocent children. Everyone keeps saying it, but you're okay with keep posting the videos and putting their pictures up there.
Let me tell y'all that. The people who posting pictures and videos of the kid and birth certificates, that's so foul. When I tell you that is so foul and despicable, that is wrong for you to do, because at the end of the day, you would never, especially those that are parents, that's a huge violation. You will pop off on somebody if they did that with your kids. So I'm telling you right now, you're wrong for that.
It was the grandma.
Tyler is funny at this part right here. You want the grandma to stop posting pictures of her grandbabies? Latarius was right. Yeah, y'all should not be doxing these kids out here, putting their face all on your thing or whatever. There's creeps out here. Y'all shouldn't be doing that part. But the grandma, you want the grandma, Tyler, to stop posting her grandbabies? Tyler is hilarious.
Oh, that's even worse.
That's what, and I'm not saying that you just condemned her, but I'm just saying, but that's
went on the grandma.
No, I'm just saying, it's not right. That's the thing. No matter who it is, it's not right. That's
the grandma the one that posted the birth certificates.
Sent it in, sent the pictures, everything.
Why is it not right? Why is it not right for the grandma to send her baby's pictures in or whatever, stuff like that? Is she signing them up on some electric bill and making it come out their social security number or something like that? Like, is she getting an account in their name or something? Like, because they sent the grandma sent the certificates to Jesse and Ricky. That's what you mad about? It's not right to prove her point, to prove her case. Coach, I might be gassed out. He been running around all day. He used to say you look gassed out.
No, I'm good.
You said you tired of Tyler.
No, we can't get tired. I'm sure I can do another few more videos at this rate.
At this rate,
people don't want to see it. Well, shoot,
you got a lot just off this interview alone.
That's what I'm telling you.
Grandma emailed me. I need to talk to you.
Yeah, because I'm telling you. But the thing is, I wasn't active, so it's hard for people to say he was active. There are pictures, there are videos. It's very few and far in between. If I give you, if I create a montage of all the things that I've done in my life, playing basketball.
I need Tyler to define what is active to him. It's not Monday through Friday. It's not active. Like literally, you've been around than most people's parents. Most people's parents just go and they say, be like, I seen my dad one time when I was 12, and I ain't seen him since. In 5 years, these kids will see you consistently from Monday through Friday for at least 6 months. That's more time than most parents to put in. I don't know. I need to know what his definition of active is. Like, does that mean 24/7? That's what active is for him? Maybe that's what it is, huh?
Basketball, I can make it look like I'm a professional basketball player.
Absolutely.
But to take these pictures over the past 5-6 years, you can make it look like I'm very active. And they're doing that. For her mom to get on there and say that I was there every other weekend, you're lying.
So let me ask you, when's the last time you saw the kids?
This was September. I went to a football game last year.
September 2023.
Yeah.
This is the last time you saw the kids. And it was you, Was it her and her fiance?
Yes.
And the 5 kids?
Yep.
And you said what to the kids?
Nothing. It was a football game. I went to a football game.
You saw him in passing, or y'all
You
said,
know, I went to a
hey?
football game. I went to the Suns football game.
Oh, the Suns football game?
Yeah, like a little flag football
Okay.
game. I went to a game. And people were saying like, oh, you left them for the show. No. What I will say is one thing that show does help you get is clarity.
Oh, I'm about to say that.
So you are detached from everything. Whether I found love or not, I was in a hotel room with thoughts and how I want better for my life and praying and thinking about things. It was not that. People will say that these are the motives. It's all these, rather than just looking at it from a standpoint, because they didn't see this or understand this, the standpoint of, I wasn't an active father. I wasn't around. I was tired of playing this tiptoe in and out game and watching you play house.
That's good.
And then funding it.
Yep.
So when I came back with clarity, I don't want to have these conversations no more because you are really good at talking to me as my friend that I've always loved. And I will put myself back in that situation. So the only way to step out was to completely detach myself from everything. Or I would have been in a life where I ended up where it's not a dad. You have a house with 2 parents. Her fiance has raised these kids. So this is what you wanted. And I see it. And that's what I want them kids to have, 2 parents. Not 2 parents and a tiptoe in and out dad that comes around just so you can say he goes to dad and donuts. That's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to be a very active father in my kids' lives at all times. Don't.
So wait, Tyler, do you want these kids?
I'm gonna run it back.
Like, he said like he wants these kids.
I'm gonna run it back.
For her mom to get on there and say that I was there every other weekend, you're lying.
So let me ask you, when's the last time you saw the kids?
This was September. I went to a football game last year.
September 2023.
Yeah.
Is the last
I
time
was
you
at a
saw
football game.
And let me clarify, because I see somebody asked 5 kids. The new fiance of Bride has 2 kids herself, so that's why he says 5.
the kids? And it was you. Was it her and her fiance?
Yes.
And the 5 kids?
Yep.
And you said what to the kids?
Nothing. It was a football game. I went to a football game.
You saw him in passing, or y'all said,
I went to
hey?
a football game. I went to the Suns football game.
Oh, the Suns football game?
Yeah, like a little flag football
Okay.
game. I went to a game. And people are saying like, oh, you left them for the show. No. What I will say is one thing that show does help you get is clarity.
Oh, I'm about to say that.
So you are detached from everything. Whether I found love or not, I was in a hotel room with thoughts and how I want better for my life and praying and thinking about things. It was not that. People will say that these are the motives. It's all these, rather than just looking at it from a standpoint, because they didn't see this or understand this, the standpoint of, I wasn't an active father. I wasn't around. I was tired of playing this tiptoe in and out game and watching you play house.
That's good.
And then funding it.
Yep.
So when I came back with clarity, I don't want to have these conversations no more because you are really good at talking to me as my friend that I've always loved. And I will put myself back in that situation. So the only way to step out was to completely detach myself from everything. Or I would have been in a life where I ended up where it's not a dad. You have a house with 2 parents. Her fiance has raised these kids. So this is what you wanted. And I see it. And that's what I want them kids to have, 2 parents. Not 2 parents and a tiptoe in and out dad that comes around just so you can say he goes to dad and donuts. That's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm confused on a few parts because you said you came out with clarity, but then you started texting her when you got out. You didn't just cut her off when you got out of there. You was texting her. So you didn't want to have these conversations because you knew that she would swing you back in or whatever and stuff like that. But you couldn't just say, hey, I had some clarity while I was in these pods by myself. And I just decided, take them. Just take the kids. I don't want them no more. But you also don't want to be an in and out dad. But I think he's missing what Bride wants out of the situation. She wants to be with a woman, but she still wants a father figure in the kid's life, a male figure, not just a father figure, because I know we can identify whatever we want these days, but an actual male, cisgendered male, if y'all have to go there, figure in the kid's life. You know, I don't know why he's intentionally missing that part. Like, why does it just have to be 2-parent household? Why can't it be multiple parent household? Why can't it have 3 parents, 4 or 5? You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't we be a village raising these kids together? I just don't get it. Governor, talk to me.
I mean, listen, I think in this situation so far, I said I'm not like I'm confused, but I'm not confused, but I'm confused. Obviously, again, his framing of the conversation is giving he wants to be in these kids' lives. So you want to be in your kids' lives, but you just want to use them for tax purposes. I don't know, which is because maybe that's it. But you know, like it sounds like you want to be in his kids' lives, and sir, go and be with the kids. I like you know what I mean? Like that's my summation of where we're what 1 hour 47 minutes in it. We've been saying this since half an hour point. Go and be with the kids. Then you can easily set up a program where you can take the kids and this time you can be a weekend dad. You don't even have to even be a full-time dad this time. You could be a weekend dad and let the kids have the 2-parent household that you wanted to have. Unless maybe you just don't want your kids with 2 mamas like you really said you did, but you don't want them that. But you want to be there, but you don't want the woman to be there. Because I don't see this.
Could be. That's perspective I didn't think about. You really not for you like Bride's mom. You really not for the community like that. Because sometimes people secretly are like that, but you just cool with her. You know, we as friends, we cool. Yeah, I don't know. Could be. Or you just don't want your kids raised in that environment. It's fine for you. It's fine for you and your kids, but I personally don't want my actual kids raised like that. I don't want them to think that that's comfortable. And I mean, you know, to each his own, because some people's beliefs are rooted like that. Some people are really rooted deep like that, you know, you can do what you do over there, but in my house, I don't want that. I don't want that in this house. And that could be it. I don't know.
Want to be a very active father in my kids' lives at all times. Don't say you want a relationship and raise these kids with a woman until you do it and y'all get in a fight. And it's like, well, I know my friend will come back. That's not it. It gave me clarity, a lot of clarity. So I didn't leave. If I came back with no one, that was my mindset.
This is one of the rare times where you say my kids. In my kid's life.
Yeah.
Are you talking about proverbial saying that if this wasn't a traditional situation, I want to be involved in my kid's life? Are you saying these kids I want to be involved in? If you're going to allow me to be involved in my kid's life, are you saying that?
Yeah, I'm saying like if I was to have my kids, like my own kids, how I would want to raise my family. Yes, how I would want to raise my family with. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, because you say my kids, and so I just wanted to make sure that if she gave you the opportunity right now and said, "Hey, listen, man, listen, I saw this episode of Dear Future Wifey. Let's fix this. What does fixing it look like to you?" She said, I ain't gonna be making no more videos talking crazy. We're not gonna do this. And I realize we do need healing in this family. However this looks, let's sit down and fix this.
First thing is I wouldn't believe her. I'm gonna be honest. Second thing is I think it's past fixing, you know, where your mom is saying that they wish I died.
Take her mom out of, forget the mom, her. Don't make her accountable to nobody else. She's talking to you, man to woman, and says, let's fix this. I do not want my kids to suffer emotional damage throughout life. I'm asking you as the donor, as the bio father of these kids, I want you to weigh in on this. How can we fix this? Would you just say the way you fix it is don't ever call me again and F these kids? Like, what are you saying?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I'm sitting here and I'm trying to think, and that's what I've done in past places where I try to think of something that I think you will want to hear. I don't want to do that.
Don't think about what I want to hear.
Not anyone, but what the people want to hear. I don't want to do that either.
Don't do it. And if you don't have an answer, that's okay.
Yeah, so that's why I don't know. Sitting out right now, I would have to talk to my wife.
Yeah.
And it's us now. So it's me and Ashley. So there's no, Tyler, what can you do? No, it's my partner. So
and I like that. And I respect that you said this, but let me tell you something that's so cool about it that
wait.
that I take the heart posture of as.
So that goes back to what we're saying. First and foremost, why does he have to consult Ashley? Ashley has nothing to do this, right? Again, he can actually. This has nothing to do with Ashley, and I think, like I said, there's multiple things happening at once for him. So, you know, I can understand that. But one of the things that we're now highlighting again, going back to what we said in the very beginning, is Ashley is a big part of his decision making. You know, I can put it on Ashley, but let me just put it as him first, as solely just him. For him, if he is a people pleaser, like Ashley said that he is a people pleaser, and he said then he's people pleasing right now. That doesn't have to include Ashley even saying anything. The fact that Ashley's even in his life, he can start people pleasing because what people pleasers do, right? So in this aspect, he is people pleasing to a space where he has to ask Ashley what we're going to do. No, you don't need to ask Ashley anything, because in reality, it doesn't matter whether you're married or not. If them kids are your kids and you want to see your kids, Ashley can't do it don't matter whether she's married to you. The same way that if Ashley had kids outside, there's nothing you could do or say that would make her stop wanting to see her kids. So in this aspect, we're going back to what we said earlier on about Tyler and the way he likes to people please, and he says the right things to women, right? That you're still doing that same thing, Tyler. You're still doing it, right? Now the question really is: are you trying to manipulate Ashley to help you deny these kids, or is it a case of Ashley's also part of this ruse where she's like, I'm so glad you don't have those kids because I don't want them kids either, right? Because we always talk about the men that don't have the kids full time, right? We never talk about the fact that the women who are with those men are very happy too that you don't have the kids. You know what I'm saying to you, right? But that's what that could be here as well.
Yep. I agree with you on that. The kids could be a reminder that the child I have for him is not the first. the kids is a reminder of that scenario. And Ashley's where, and I'm not saying this is what she's thinking, but in Ashley's terms, she didn't want nobody with kids. She wanted that to be a first experience for them both. Now, there's a plus to it, Ashley, if this is what you're on. He's saying he never did all the other things with Bri. So that still would be a first experience with you. Now, it won't be the first time in the hospital room because we clearly seen the picture of him in scrubs and stuff like that in the delivery room. But all the rest of the things, the casting that he keeps mentioning over and over, the taking the family photos, the, planning of the things and that and all that, it'll be a first for you both at the end of the day. The fact that he's trying to answer in what Latarius wants, what he thinks we want, now he got to check with Ashley. But he told us earlier, nobody tells him what to do. Nobody's stopping him from anything is wild to me. Like, why do you have to check in with Ashley to answer? And he don't have to give an answer right now. I love that answer. I don't know. You know why? Because I'm somewhat attached to these kids. I am somewhat attached to these kids, but I'm not fully attached to these kids. So I don't know what would have been the best answer. Just leave it right there. Not I'm trying to figure out what you want me to answer, what you want me to say. I don't know right now. I have to sit on that. I have to think about that because I got to figure out what all that's going to come with. If it's going to be, if Bri gives me the best case scenario and she doesn't give me a hard time and I could just get the kids on the weekend and stuff, yes, I'll be with my kids' life. But if she gonna give me a hard time and whatever, honestly, no, I don't want to do it. I've heard people say that. I've heard men literally say that. If the woman's gonna give me a hard time, I don't want to do it. I don't want to deal with it. And I will be okay. If you want to answer for me, that would be the answer for me. I'll be okay.
Leader, as the foundation of your household, you can cultivate whatever that is based on what you want, and your wife will fall in line and say, not saying that the wife just got to do everything.
No,
trust me. I know, but it's a leadership standpoint. Say, listen, you know what? You trust me, right? You follow me as I follow Christ, right? Absolutely. This is what I want to do. Now, what would you like? Or do you agree with that? So the reality is I don't want, because you operate from a place of a people pleaser mentality, what I want, if anything, that you walk away from this conversation.
Funny enough, this godly man didn't say, let me consult God. I'm going to see what God would do. Such a godly man. He didn't say that though.
I want to impart leadership, full masculinity, where it's not, you're not doing stuff based upon somebody else's approval. Yes. It's based upon, this is what I see right for my life, and I'm getting this direction from God. And this is not the easy road. It don't feel comfortable, but this is what I'm going to do. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, as a leader, I can look down the road and say, legacy. What is my legacy? If I take my last breath today, how would I be remembered? And every man should take that moment in their life where they say, if I were to take my last breath today, how are people going to remember me? If you took your last breath today, God forbid, but your legacy right now would be, Tyler never owned up. He got these kids, don't do this, blah, 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 blah. That's what it would be. And your kids grow up trying to understand that. You're like, now, why would he? I do understand it's kind of difficult, but did not matter enough for this and this. They don't care about it. All they want is whoever's going to be daddy. And I have to be careful in this new generation with, like you said, 2 women being parents and 2 fathers being 2 men being parents. I don't know all these pronoun stuff. So I'm trying to just figure this out. But the child would be like, I want my bio parent and some level of understanding with said parent. And you have the power to either create whatever that is or say, listen, this is difficult and this is what I have chosen in this. I'm gonna stand beside this original agreement. This is what it is. And it is what it is. Yeah. I donated this for a reason. You have every right for whatever you want because that was your agreement. All I'm saying is whatever it is that you decide as a man, stand on it from this day forward and make sure all hearts and minds are clear. And you can bless everybody with, hey, this is what it's gonna be. This is what we agreed upon. This is what we should have had in writing at the very beginning. We didn't do that. Now we got an opportunity to put this here just like this. And this is what that is. And if you don't know the answer to that, that's fine because it is crazy. Yeah. Let me just choose a better word. It is complicated.
Yeah. And no, I definitely get it. And that's what I want to be clear is I'm sitting here taking accountability. I want to be clear on that. Me walking out of kids' lives or the in and out, I don't enjoy just as much as anyone else doesn't like hearing about it. I'm taking the accountability on not being straightforward with Ashley at the beginning. I want to sit here and say that I'm not better than, I want to sit here and say that. I don't have the answer. If she was to reach out and say, let's figure out how can we figure it out? I don't know. I feel like I'm so hurt by a lot of things that it would take a lot.
And that's what the mediator, you get mediators there and they converse and get down to it. So something can, because it's going to take a lot to rebuild whatever it is, but everything is possible. I'm an optimist. So I just believe in healthy relationships, healthy family. I just believe that. And as ugly as it is, it's still not out of control.
Yeah. No, I don't think, like you said, I don't think anything's out of control. You can fix a lot with prayer. And it's like, I would have to talk again with Ashley. I would have to talk to God. I would have to figure out a way that benefits all parties.
Exactly.
I was gonna say the problem is that he's trying to make sure has a plan that benefits all parties, but he doesn't realize that he can take the lead on this situation. This reminds me of this situation that happened with Lonzo and what is her name? I interviewed them a couple of seasons back on OWN Network. What was their show? Put a ring on it.
Put a ring on it, yeah.
He had a similar situation with an ex-baby mother, was a bit more manic, blah, blah, blah. And he didn't realize that he had the control to actually set the pace for the situation. That once he said, this is what I need, and I'm gonna, and maybe that's what Ashley's also saying about the people pleasing aspect, right? I do think he's manipulative. I do think he could be diabolical. He a goddamn liar. Okay. I think within that space too, I also see that there is aspects of where he is a people pleaser. And if he doesn't learn how to actually be assertive in what he actually wants and actually lay that down, this is where the manipulation actually takes place. The passive aggressiveness, where you're doing stuff like this, right? So I think he needs to sort out, do you want them kids or not? I don't know why it's not a hard question. Like, if you want them kids, then we need to put a plan together to get them kids. And I'm telling you this now, Ashley probably could put a plan together. So if I was you, I'd even tap into the resources that you have. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, maybe it's just a case of you just having the kids every weekend. That's fine. Maybe that's all that you can do. You know what I'm saying to you? Maybe that's all you can do. But at least you do it. At least you're not now dodging and running and being away. And it would not leave you spare, with Ashley. Do you know what I'm saying to you? But yeah, it's you know what I'm saying to you? It's a bit of a weird one. Yeah.
And he's still people pleasing Ashley on this God aspect because you put God after Ashley. You just got to saying I have to pray on it and all this stuff, and then the first thing you say, I gotta talk to Ashley, then I gotta talk to God. So you praying to Ashley? Like, who are you praying to? Like, what? Tyler.
And that's the thing. I'm not sure. And again, I don't hate anyone. I'll be clear on that. Like I said, I always have love for anyone that's ever been in my life, good or bad. You were an experience, and you showed me something on some aspects of life, whether it was to trust someone, whether it was not to trust someone. But I don't know what that conversation would look like.
I mean, it would be interesting because I don't even know the answer to it. Even when I'm saying that to you, I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you sit there and say, all right, listen. So I can't even entertain the conversation. I'm like, what do you say? Do you say, hey, listen, am I going to pay child support on this, or am I not going to pay child support? But if you want me to be an active participant in this kid's life like an uncle, and we need to also discuss at a certain point where we're going to tell the kid that I'm the bio dad, like all that stuff, I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen, it's a lot. It's very complex. But again, I know that you possess the capacity because you're the one that made the decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you possess the capacity to come up with the answer. So what I'm empowering you with is solution. See, a lot of men don't want to come up with a solution. We can go make a whole lot of mistakes. We can make a lot of bad decisions. I don't even like to use the word mistakes. So I'm gonna say we can make a lot of bad decisions, but we don't want to take the work to create the solution for the bad decision.
Absolutely.
So what I'm telling you, King, is I'm empowering you with the power to come up with a solution to it ain't a bad decision that you made. They just wasn't fully thought out. Because the decision, the initial thing of saying, I want to go ahead and bless you so y'all can have a kid, if that came with good intentions and desires and you want to do that, you have all the right in the world because that was a well-intended thing that you did. The way that you handled it, the way all that took place is where that decision was handled poorly.
Gotcha.
And so now you have the power to look back and go, God, okay, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. When I became a man, I put childish things away. That's Bible. So now what do I do? How do I put these childish things away? I got to put these emotions away because I'm responding out of emotion because I've heard all these lies. I've heard people stick daggers in my back that I tried to help. I understand that. Jesus, you did the same thing. You said, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do. So I got to exercise the heart posture of Jesus. Gosh, that hurts. Dang, that bothers me. But this is the crown that's placed on my head because you called me a king. So now this is what I'm going to do. I'm looking at this offspring. Either I identify with this as my kid or I don't. And I make a decision based on both ways, whether I see him as my kid or I don't. And then I handle that decision accordingly. I come up with that solution. Then I talk to my wife and say, this is what I'm presenting you. And this is what I want to do. And she says, okay, or not. And then you talk to wise counsel, attorneys, or whoever, say, this is what I want to do. How do we make this work? And they go, yeah, this can work right here. Well, this is going to be a problem based on state law. That's not doable, but we can do this. And then they carve it and shape it up. And then you present it with the other party and say, hey, this is what we come up with. What do you think about that?
No, honestly,
that's king stuff.
No, that's great advice. And that's stuff that I've never gotten, to be honest. It's easy for your friends to back you up and say, make a decision, do it. Rather than someone say, figure out a solution. But whatever solution you figure out, stick on it.
Yep.
Whether it's in the kids' lives, out the kids' lives, being friends, make a solution. Because it's easy to avoid it.
Yes.
And it will go on being a problem. Just because you're avoiding it doesn't mean it's no longer a problem. So no, I definitely appreciate that insight because it's not something that I come across. There's never been any type of manly figure in my life.
I think that is essentially the truth of what we're seeing. Like, he doesn't have a plan. Mm-hmm. And so because he doesn't have a plan, the easiest thing to do is to, and I know this might sound like I'm mansplaining, and I'm not trying to mansplain. I want to make it very, very clear. Men and women have different roles in society because of the way that society places expectations on them. So a lot of times men can actually get away with a lot of stuff because society allows us to get away with a lot of stuff. So, for instance, in this instance, where a woman would not be socially allowed to get away with just abandoning the kids, she has to figure out a plan. She hasn't got a choice. And that puts you, when you have to figure out a plan, it puts you in a certain mindset where you start problem solving. It's what we call, it's what happens to children when they become hyper independent and very quick problem solvers in their childhood, that they can't actually be as interdependent in adult relationships because all they've ever known is to problem solve for themselves. So what we're seeing here is somebody who's unable to come up with a solution, one, because there is no pressure to do, because in reality, there is no societal norms where you are shamed completely for abandoning your kids. Number two, it can be hidden, so you can actually get away with it for a long time. Number three, you know, in this instance, yes, there are some factors within that relationship in terms of the family that he doesn't like, and he has no plan for them. He has no plan how to handle the mum. He has no plan how to handle Bri. He has no plan how to handle the Deshaun situation. He has no plan how to handle the fact there's another woman in the situation, and there probably might be another few women if that comes in, if Bri doesn't get it right in terms of who she's dating. He has no plan for that. He doesn't like that, but he doesn't know how to handle that. Doesn't know how to communicate that. Doesn't know how to talk about it. So what he's done is what a lot of people do is when they don't know what to do, is we quit. Right? Same thing that he was trying to say about Deshaun did. He quit. Right? And, you know, I know some people might be saying he's a coward or whatever. Yes, call him whatever you want to call him. But I'm just explaining the behavior, which is that, you know, in that instance, he saw no, like when you see no hope, that's how you quit. You don't see a hope because you don't have the resources and the mental resources. And someone might say, just get together. No. And I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying that you're not right. What I'm saying to you is until he's pushed against the wall, which is that's happening now, he won't come up with a plan. Because it's just easier to dodge. And actually that he's telling the story of a lot of deadbeat fathers who were afraid of being fathers, and instead of figuring it out and sitting there and going, look, let me figure this out. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to figure it out. He ran instead because it's easier. And then it's easier to run away and start again on a brand new piece of paper than it is to start to fix some of the problems that you see in a relationship. In fact, some men actually get to a point where they're like, I've made too many mistakes here. They will never allow me to be the man that I think I want to be, and so because I've made so many mistakes here, I'll just start again. Where at least somebody can see me as a better person. I don't want to be looked at as a bad person, because a lot of men's fear, which they don't talk about oftentimes, is in fact not men. It's a human being thing. Two things: we want to be liked, and we want to be right. And this is something that psychology taught me. People want to be liked, and we want to be right. So take the right part out because we can see that he's trying to be right, but the other aspect is to want to be liked. So once you realize that. You know, that you're not going to be liked in a certain area, sometimes for that person, it can be easy for them just to quit that area and go and start all over again. Almost like going to a new school and going, you know what, it didn't work out in our previous school, scrunch that piece of paper, throw it away, go to a new school. I'm going to reinvent myself. I'm going to come brand new. And that new piece of paper, I'm going to start all over again. Now, that doesn't stop us calling him a deadbeat. That doesn't stop us talking about how he's abandoned the kids. It doesn't stop us saying the absolute truth about what the actions and connotations of those actions actually are. All we're doing is explaining the behavior. It does not remove the labels we're applying to him to say that you're being cowardly for doing that. That doesn't remove that. Do you know what I'm saying to you?
With wisdom that can give me insight on decisions that I made in my life.
I'm gonna tell you this. I try not to be emotional when I start thinking about my childhood. I was 18 years old. I put myself on child support. Put myself on child support when I was 18 because the mother of my child she was preventing me from seeing my daughter. I was spending all the time in the world with my daughter. I was there when my daughter was born. You know, I would say that at that young age, she was dealing with, you know, her emotions the best way she knew how. And she was like, I'm finna change some stuff and I'm not gonna let you be in your kid's life anymore. Devastated me. I told my dad, I said, first I called the attorney general. I said, I need y'all to, the mother of my child is preventing me from seeing my child. And they said, are you on child support? I said, no. And they said, well, we can't enforce visitation if you're not on child support. I said, put me on child support. They said, excuse me? I said, put me on child support. If y'all not going to enforce visitation, then put me on child support. They said, we don't even know. They don't even know how to put paperwork to say that. Right. So then it was like, oh, we'll just come to the office. So my dad and I went to the office and we sat down at the attorney general office and we sat down and talked. And they said, so you want to put yourself on child support? And I said, yeah, because I want to be an active father in my child's life. And I want y'all to be able to, you know, because it goes both ways. If I don't pay, y'all going to lock me up. If I do this, I need to be on child support. They said, They looked at my dad. They said, where did he get this wisdom from? My dad said, like John the Baptist, I am not he. And he said that my dad, he got kids, he didn't take care of. So he was just like, he's going to be on child support. No problem. My dad said, when he got my sister's mom pregnant, my half sister, the father said, either you're going to marry her or you can leave forever. He said, well, I know what I'm doing. And he just left. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he said. He said, that was an easy decision to left. You know, and I was like, boy, that's shady. But that's what he did back then. And so when they asked me that, he said, like John the Baptist, I'm not he. So when I talk about when I talk about fatherhood, it's so deep with me because I understand the gravity of fatherhood. Even the kid that I didn't produce the sperm for, I adopted kids.
Yeah.
So when you talk about fatherhood, it is deep with me. It's so deep with me. Matter of fact, thank you, Lord. This episode is dropping Wednesday. This coming up Saturday is National Adoption Day.
Oh, wow.
So I adopted my sons on National Adoption Day. One of them 1 year, another one a few years later. President Barack Obama called that into office and made a national holiday where kids in foster care get adopted on that day. And it's totally paid for by the state. And so that's National Adoption Day. It's interesting that we're having this conversation, but Saturday is National Adoption Day. A lot of states, they celebrate, or cities celebrate it on different days around that, but it's always the national one is the Saturday before Thanksgiving. And so it's interesting that we're having this conversation. And so shout out to those foster parents that are going to be consummating their adoptions on National Adoption Day. Shout out to y'all. If y'all are celebrating by adopting the kids that you are fostering, leave a comment. That's extremely special for me, extremely special for me. So as we have this conversation again, but even though I had a child biologically, my daughter, shout out to Lateria, who's 28 years old. I adopted my nephew when he was 8 years old. He's 16. I adopted Armani. He was 16. Now he's 21. But I've never still had that situation. Yeah. So I don't sit here as an expert saying, well, that's just easy to do. I have no idea.
Yeah, no, and I want to be clear. It's not easy. No. I didn't do this. Yeah. I didn't wipe my hands with it. It's a lot of talking to myself. It's a lot of talking to Ashley. It's a lot of, again, prayer that, people think that I'm hiding behind. Right. But I'm actually talking to God, just not publicly sometimes. Just because I post prayer sometimes, I'm not hiding. I'm trying to figure out my life. Yeah. And this is the best way. This is the best navigation system I got is prayer right now. So it's not easy by any means. It's tough. I'm just trying to picture what life looks like, and the question you asked me, what would I want? I don't know.
And that's okay. That's okay right now for today in this conversation. But if I call you a couple of weeks from now and I say, what do you want? You still say, I know. I will challenge you and say, you haven't put in the work, because while it's a difficult situation, nothing is too difficult for God. And if you are truly rooted and grounded in God, he's going to provide a solution. He said, if you call me, I will show up. He says, behold, I stand at the door and knock. Whosoever hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and sup with thee. Meaning that the minute that he is knocking, this is that knocking moment right now where you're having a conversation with me and I'm challenging you to rise up to a certain level of manhood. And now that's the knocking at the door. And then you say, all right, God, this little bald-headed man done told me some stuff. And I don't know who this man is. Why did I even go do this episode to begin with? But
no, I know why I'm here.
Why?
I was called here. I'm telling you why. Like, before I got off the flight, Ashley said, I feel in my spirit, you're in good hands. Ooh. And one thing I can speak on Ashley, I don't know how long she's been building that relationship with God. That woman is good. When she says she feels something, don't question it. I learned to navigate around stuff and not want to talk about it. And she'll sit there and say, I feel it. I feel like I'm going against God. You need to tell me. When I tell you, I was like, it was one night I was crying to her because I was like, I don't know what relationship you have, but I want that. It's scary good. And when she told me on the plane, you coming here, I feel in my spirit is like the best thing that you can do. I was like, yeah. I was nervous a little bit, but then the nerves went away when she said that, because if she feels it, and you'll sit with her for 10, 15 minutes, have a conversation, it's in her spirit. So.
Do you realize the importance of having a woman guy like that?
No, I do. Trust me. I'm well aware. That's why I want to defend her on every platform. And people are saying it as well, where it's like, you're letting her fight. No, I had to sit back. I didn't have anything lined up. I wasn't jumping at the first thing smoking. I honestly wasn't aware of your podcast. So if I jumped at the first thing, I wouldn't be here. Right. My name would have been ran through mud for going with someone else where they don't have a good back history, or they can't speak on anything. They don't give anyone a positive platform. Right. So the fact that I did wait, it does suck. 'Cause it looks like Ashley was in the front line fighting. I was in the front line fighting at home. So to come here. Good. Hold on.
I heard you say it, King. You were sitting at home trying to keep her staying, trying to preserve this, trying to cover her at home, and say, they can fight all out here, but I got a secure home base.
Yeah, trying to make sure that the rocks they're throwing aren't affecting the house. Now the foundation is getting shaky, so.
That's good.
Yeah, so it's just a weird position to be in. But had I not waited, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
And this is the only time, like I said, that I'm going to go in depth on this. This is the only place that I feel safe. And I don't think there's another. I don't know. I don't want to throw anyone else out there, but I just don't know. I just know when my wife says that in her spirit, this is it.
Anything else you need to clear up before we get ready to wrap up? Anything else that you like to relate to the audience? What are these receipts? What receipts? You got something else you want to show me?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna hold off on the other ones. I'll let you see them, and I just want you to read it to yourself, and then just your face.
Because I know almost done at the point. It's interesting. I think also and this is maybe me just trying to see some good. That I think I said this. I've said this before. Previously, I said, you know what? The interesting thing is that there is a self-destruction button that can get pressed by Tyler, right? Later on in the relationship. Mm-hmm. I think he wants to make this work with Ashley. I genuinely do. I think he genuinely wants to make it work. And I'll tell you why. His wound is that he was never wanted. Mm-hmm. When you're not wanted, also the other thing that happens is that you're also not covered or protected. So when somebody can go for you hard in the paint, where even though it looks like, you are the bad person, you were wrong, you were everything like that, etc., etc. When someone goes hard for you in the paint, that they protect you, cover you, try to, see the best in you, it can ignite you in a particular way, right? Now, while I do believe that can happen, the question is whether his healing process will complete before the self-destruct button gets pressed. Because the self-destruct button is also that I also don't believe I'm worthy of that, because I've not had that from anybody else. So that self-destruct button can actually be pressed later on in the relationship, and he goes cold again, and he goes, I gotta run again. So the question really is going to be that this could actually work. It's a risk. It's a major risk. It's a big risk. Yeah, it's not a risk I would ask anybody to be taken lightly. In fact, I wouldn't want you to take it, right? Because he should be doing this work without you. But it could potentially work. It just is a very slim number, and it's not a number that I like. You know what I'm saying to you? I don't think it's even 10%. You know what I'm saying to you? It is what we call the exception to the rule. And so if it does work, it's an exception to a rule and not the rule. It is an anomaly within the space of rule. So for me personally, I can see how Ashley covering him, protecting him, wanting to go out back for him, because remember, she too is doing the very thing that she wished was done for her, because her father didn't do that for her. You know what I'm saying to you? So she also is behaving in the way. So I'm talking about he can press the button, but she can also press a button too that can make him press the button. So this is where the difficulties is. If they don't get the healing quickly enough, someone will press the button that begins to ignite everything, and it will turn into a very disgusting, toxic, wild adventure where people are going to come out and say, well, I know this about you. Did it? You will realize how quickly that person who says they were protecting you will uncover you, because they felt like they were covering you for so long. Or the same thing that he's feeling with Bri is actually the same thing that Ashley is doing for him right now. It's that with him and Bri, they covered each other in everything. Now that Bri's uncovering him, it's like, how could you do this to me? You're the very thing that, you know, we were friends for so long is that you were covering me and I covered you. I didn't expose your dirty deeds. Look how I even told your ex-wife that you sat in a corner and didn't do nothing. Meanwhile, we probably know you were doing something, but I didn't say nothing. I covered you. You know what I'm saying to you? Now you've uncovered me the same way that my parents have also done. That's a very painful thing. That's why it's been so hurtful probably with him and Brian, the situation that she brought it to the public. And so now Ashley's playing that covering role. Will he do the healing? It's a big question. And will her own wounds of not having a father figure, not without, because she's going to get tired of leading, because she is leading. When she gets tired, that's where we're going to start to see what's going to happen. That can take 2, 3, 4, can even take up to a decade before that really comes to pass, if it doesn't shift and change.
Right.
So before you know it, you got Monique saying, you know, I tried all my best for 10 years and da-da-da-da-da-da.
Now we graduated.
I didn't know myself.
I was going to say that same thing. The day that Ashley's love is low, or like you said, she's not able to lead, she's, you know, reached her capacity or whatever, and somebody else come along. Is he going to be healed or fixed by then too? Like, you know, I know this at the end of this. I do hope that he is entering some type of counseling, some type of therapy, you know, because there's a lot that he need to unpack. Ashley need to go to her own too. They need to go to their own individual therapy. But he definitely got a lot, because that attached, detached thing he got going on with him, that's scary for a relationship. That's hot and cold. That's that same thing we was talking about, Marissa. You can turn on, turn off. So once it's not going your way, once he feels pushed out with Ashley, is he going to detach from her? You know, so I don't know. It ain't much more left up on this. I guess we can just ride this out for a little bit.
You can have it,
right?
But it's some stuff that I'll take to court. I don't have what the future's going to hold, but just some things.
And who wrote this right here?
That's from Brian.
And this is 2019, yeah. July 22nd, 2019.
Yeah, yep. And that's just something that, again, I have the means to put it out there. I'm going to wait. You know, I'm going to let the courts decide what is good, what's not good about it. Certain things.
And was that after all 3 kids?
Yeah, that's after all 3 kids are born. It changes little things, doesn't it? You know, it does change a little bit. And I know people are gonna be like, you should have told us, it means nothing. But I get it. But some things aren't for public. You know, not when I'm going.
Latarius laughed just now, was like, no, they didn't change.
So I didn't say anything. He said, he didn't change anything, brother. It's come on, brother. I've had that done to me before on shows before. I'm like, look at it going, what did this prove?
I remember who you got it from too.
yeah. I was like, this doesn't prove anything. So what is it?
It's not helping the case that you got here. It's definitely helping the other party's case, but it ain't helping you.
We've been there too many times. Yeah, you already know. Like,
going through stuff. Because I talked to you on the phone, and one quick thing you said to me that I stood with me. I told Ashley, you don't always have to show people your hand.
Nope.
And it's not that I'm trying to hide things. It's just I want you to like me for me, not because I persuaded you to like me.
Yep.
Not that I showed you receipts. I have people that actually love me in my life, so I don't want to persuade you to do that. But yeah, I just want people to leave Ashley alone. If there's anything in this interview that you don't like, take it out on me. Ashley is the innocent bystander that did nothing but try to fall in love with someone nationally.
Now, can y'all do that? I mean, can y'all hear
They
the
probably
heart
never listen to me, but
I'm gonna say it. The reality is, how are you attacking? If you're saying, listen to this real quick. If you are saying that this woman is innocent, she didn't do nothing. She ain't donated nothing. She just minded her business, came on the show to try to find love. If you are truly trying to protect her, why are you destroying her in the process of her decision that she made? Because again, you're watching something when Love is Blind comes out, they done got married. That was a year ago. All that stuff didn't happen a year ago. So are you saying if she were to listen to what y'all are saying, she should just divorce him right now? You know what? I should divorce you. I know I did this last year. I know you told me all this stuff then. And I took my vows with you. But everybody else is saying I need to leave you alone. So I need to go and leave you alone.
Now, if she does that, are y'all going to go give her 1 million followers? Y'all gonna give her $1 million? No, because in 2-3 months, you'll forget that y'all told her to do that. You'll forget because her life will go on. So it's let her make a decision what's best for her. She's very intelligent.
And leave people. And if you ever want to do anything, especially those that are believers. Now, if you're not a believer, you ain't got to take this mandate. But if you're a Christian and consider yourself a Christian, you know the best thing you can do? Pray for your sister. Say, Lord, I ask that you cover her. I ask that you give her clarity, God. You said you'll never put more on her than she can bear. And so I lift my sister up before you right now, God. Protect her heart, protect her mind. And God, I speak a peace be still anointing over this situation. Quiet the naysayers, let the lies dissipate, and let your truth reign in the name of Jesus. That's what you should be saying. And I'm saying that right now to you, Ashley. Matter of fact, we're going to pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you. We thank you for this couple. We thank you for Tyler and Ashley taking vows before you, God. They took vows before you to honor you, to lift you up, to magnify you, to create legacy in your name. And God, I ask that you strengthen their relationship. I bind up every demonic imp that tries to come against their relationship and destroy it. You said, what you have joined together, let no man put us under. And God, they are saying that you joined them together in an unconventional way. But God, you are in the midst. He's saying that he can hear the heart posture of his wife when she speaks to him. She has clarity of thought to be able to discern right decisions from bad decisions. And he's saying that he is submitted to that counsel from her, which says a lot about him as a man. So God, I just thank you right now for what you're doing. God, I ask that you fortify their relationship, strengthen them. And God, I ask that the people that are coming against them, that you just quiet the noise, that you silence the noise. In the name of Jesus. If they decide to take this episode and make videos, give them a different heart posture as they are creating their content from it. Give them a different vantage point, God, in the name of Jesus. And God, will be so careful to give you the praise, the glory, and the adoration. God, we lift those kids up before you right now, God. And all parties that are included in this thing, God, peace be still. Quiet the storm. Quiet the storm. Peace be still. Let these kids grow up to be a mighty man of valor, to be Proverbs 31 women. And Lord, let them do great exploits in your name. Cover them from the crown of their heads to the soles of their feet. You said it's not by power nor by might, but by thy spirit, said the Lord. So let your spirit overtake them right now in the name of Jesus. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So if you like to pray, newsflash, I like to pray too.
No, I love it. No, that's why I said this is the place to be.
This is the place to be.
And I can't wait for Ashley to watch because she's going to say, I knew it.
She's going to say, I knew it. She's like, you better listen to me.
It's scary. It's honestly, it's scary in a good way.
Yeah.
That spirit flows through her in that way. So, and I see where she gets to her mom. Amazing, strong woman. Same way, spirit flows through her. She's privy to everything. She prays. Love them both.
So what is her father in life?
So I won't speak on that situation too much.
Let me ask you, have you met the father?
Yeah, I've been around a few times.
Okay.
Definitely a fun person. But I know some stuff came out that I won't speak on because that's Ashley and her dad's relationship. Right. I just know that they're not that close. If anyone's gonna know anything, her mom.
So how does her mom? How do you feel about y'all's relationship?
I love her mom. Me and her mom are. Listen, it's like they just accepted me in the family. You wouldn't know that. I met her grandma. Her grandma writes me, says she loves me. Yeah, like she got an Instagram. I'm like, this your grandma? Grandma be writing me. Yeah, I'm telling you, I love her.
Your
family,
grandma
man.
slide in my DMs. Ashley. You tell your grandma stay in my DMs.
Yeah, after this, she gonna be in there. So, hi, baby. Yeah, but trust me, their family is amazing. I think we got married the 16th. Spent Thanksgiving with them. They took me, and you couldn't tell that I wasn't a part of their family.
You spent your first Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah, with married. Yeah, married, and it was right away, right off the back. And I'm telling you, extremely loving family. I see where Ashley gets it from with her mom. Her mom is God-fearing. Like, good. She has her own story to tell as well, but she is strong, and she's instilled that in Ashley. And the way that they speak about God, it's worth hearing.
Well, good. I think, how you feel at the end of all this? You good?
Yeah, look, I'm good. This is, like I said, this is going to be my one and only. Yeah. The next few times I want to speak on me and Ashley's love. I want me and her to be a union up front standing because it's been a lot of her interviews, my interviews, and it didn't even feel comfortable with her even coming here to sit with me. That's because
I was asking for her to come join you, and I want to do a 2-part episode where I have you talk, and then another one with her on there. But my buddy was saying, no, she's always spoken. Let him sit 10 toes down with you as a man, and y'all have a conversation.
I would love.
Yeah, y'all come back with Ashley. Come back with Ashley.
And I guarantee you, once I tell her about this, she can be like, let's go. She'll be on the first. Yeah, trust me. Yeah, man. Seriously, I love everything about this podcast. I love the platform you provide. I love how you speak into me rather than at me.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Praying, and I truly appreciate it. Seriously, and I don't think it will clarify a lot of things for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But just know everything's not black and white. And I'm trying the best I can with the cards I was dealt, or that I dealt myself.
And just for clarity, this wasn't for them, this for you.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you. And so they get blessed by the overflow, or they just have more stuff to talk about. But I said, let's have a conversation. At the end of the day, 10 years down the line, if you sit there and you be like, hey, we celebrating 10 years, you know what I'm saying? I'll be like, man, I remember y'all on my podcast. And
Y'all going through it.
Y'all going through it, you know what I'm saying? And y'all having kids together like that. That's what I care about. I just care about these healthy kids. I care about, you know, these other parties that are included to just get healed, because Bride gonna need her healing. Deshauna gonna need her healing. This new woman, she gonna need her healing. Whatever it is, just let everybody be healed and be well. That's because if these kids get a chance to witness healthy parental involvement in their life, then they just become healthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all I care about.
No, I understand that completely.
So listen, anything coming up? Well, you ain't got nothing coming up to be telling people to go support her.
I don't support nothing.
Just send my boy some comments on. Leave some comments, because we'll be doing collaboration posts on IG with this. Just stop the negativity. Just please. Just if you can't say nothing good, don't say nothing at all. That's what they tell me when I was little.
What is it? One of the movies I seen.
Nathan. It's been a long road, people. It's been a long road. But at the end of the day, I think we figured out some issues here, a lot of truths here. Between them all, I know Deshaun did her things. I didn't get all the parts because I had to leave yesterday. So was there anything out of there that was further clarified from this or whatever?
No, she just reiterated what she kind of said on the interview anyway with Jesse Wu and that. So yeah.
Okay. Well, here we are, people. We finally got Tyler to speak out. That's what we wanted. I guess we'll get another one when him and Ashley decide to come back on or whatnot, and we get some more there or whatnot. Hopefully that prayer put it on your heart to leave those people alone. Let them live their best life. I wish he would have prayed more for the kids than anything, because those are the ones that actually need it more so than anybody. But before we get out of here, let me hit some starred comments. First of all, thank you, D. Nathanson, for becoming a member to the channel. Also, Nola Darling, this is Alpha Kojo's. Thank you for the donation. She said he just want to claim the kids in January, the taxes for the taxes. And Nola Darling hit one more. She said it will help in court. Thank you all for y'all support and love and stuff. Anything before we get up out of here, Coach? You want to tell the people anything?
No, I think we handled that quite well. Do you know what I'm saying to you? I think we broke it down. Do you know what I'm saying to you? And I think, like I said, I think we should be open to have a nuanced aspect where there's different thoughts to the situation, because there are different angles we're going to have to come at this, right? And I think that's something I'm learning a lot this year, is that my angle doesn't have to be the only right. Someone else is right as well. We spoke, we had different viewpoints on it, but it's just another angle. You know what I'm saying to you? And I think, I think it's important also, like I said, I've always held to this point, and I still hold to this point. I'm not quick to call anybody a narc, just because I think sometimes when we are in certain situations, we can look like a narc. Like if King David was here and he did what he did with that woman's wife, you call him a narc. Like you'd call Moses when he did what he did in Pharaoh an narc. Narc gets thrown around very, very quickly and very, very easy. And while I'm not saying that people aren't narcs, what I'm saying is I just don't want to go down that route. I'd rather say, like, okay, hopefully there is some aspects of you which can be salvaged and saved. And actually these aspects that you're showing, yes, I can also see how there's certain parts of my behavior that are close aligned to that. Like I've always said it. Whenever I'm doing any breakdown of anybody, I always talk about, that part of their behavior. I can understand it because I've done something like that close to that, or I've done something that's similar to that. So I can understand a bit of that, where it's coming from. So, I'm hoping that Tyler can do what needs to be done. You know what I'm saying to you? I am hoping. I'm hoping that he actually can begin to heal. I'm hoping that he takes his ass to some level of coaching and therapy, because he can see how lost he is. I'm hoping that, you know what I'm saying to you? Because especially after that interview, you said you haven't got no father figure role, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You can take yourself to go and get healed in this moment, because in that process, if you don't realize, you're going to repeat a pattern and potentially lose someone that you quote unquote love, Ashley, who's quote unquote the best things ever happened to you. You could potentially end up losing that woman. And vice versa, obviously, for her too, but I was speaking specifically for him. You know what I'm saying to you? And then that can also then translate to the kids, because if you really want a relationship with those kids, then do what you need to do. If you don't want a relationship with them kids, I'll be honest with you, leave them the hell alone. Okay? Pay your monies and leave them the hell alone. And I only say that because I know people might want to say, listen, he's being a kid's life. Like he said, it's actually better that he doesn't want to be in the kid's life because he's made a decision. I don't want to be in their lives. I don't want them. I don't want to know them. Let them grow up with the mum, and at least then they have some stability. But if he's coming in and out, it's unstable. It's even worse. So it'd rather he just be away. You know what I'm saying, Chew? And them kids can find out that he never wanted them in the first place, and they'll have their own journey to go through of healing as well. You know what I'm saying, Chew? Maybe in 18 years, he might realize that he made the wrong decision. You know what I'm saying, Chew? And that's a sad thing, but that's just life. You know what I'm saying, Chew?
Yeah, I agree. He needs to just pick a side and stay there. You know, you're either in and out, because confusion is just worse on a kid than it is just being gone or whatnot. Well, thank you all who has lasted from the beginning to end of this live with me, because it's been 5 hours. I guess it's been about 4 for Coach. I'm not even sure. We went way longer than we both planned to, but we made it all the way through. We said 2 hours.
We said 2 hours max. We're going to do timestamps. We'll go through it. But to be honest, it was actually really good to go through the whole thing. I've got a way different perspective now watching the whole thing again. I've watched it before, but watching it, slowing it down, hearing your perspective, how you're seeing things as well. I'm like, oh, I never even saw it like that. So it was good to break it down like that.
Yeah. And let me shout out one more. Thank you, True Love. Thank you for the breakdown and collaboration. This was really good. We appreciate you too. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, no, that's why the timestamps I wanted really, because it was a lot of, I have to jump here to jump back here to go to piece everything together, because there's parts just all over the place. It's like an unedited movie. Like, you know how you film movies, you know how we film movies, we do it out of sync and out of order or whatnot. This is what it was given. So the timestamps was definitely needed in the beginning. But yeah. But I appreciate you all. I hope this brought a lot more clarity to you all. I hope that y'all do understand Lataria's ways. It might not be the best, but I don't think any of us do give the perfect interview style. You know what I'm saying? I think it was perfect for Tyler. Because like he said, if he went on anybody else that would have gave him pushback, we wouldn't have had the interview. We wouldn't have had much. So I appreciate Latarius for getting that interview and securing it and doing what he did. We thank Jesse Wu and Ricky for bringing out everything so the truth can be exposed. You know, we thank Cat Williams for telling us that this year, 2024, all truths will be exposed. Okay. The truth is coming out. And you know what, to be honest with you, this might just be what Tyler needs to start his healing journey. Sometimes we need to just really be honest and open to some degree. I'm not saying he's totally transparent and honest just yet, but to some degree, we need to start that opening to just start the whole healing journey of becoming more of a transparent and honest person, you know. And Ashley might be that woman he needs by his side. God might just have sent her, you know, since he hears God through her all the time. I really don't know. Anywho, y'all have a great Friday night. Coach, you got anything else that you got coming up so they know? No, not yet. Well, if y'all love Mavs, he just did a Mavs live last night, so y'all go back and rewatch that. He also did a Deshaun breakdown yesterday, so y'all go back and watch that. I did a little breakdown yesterday, a part 1 of this. We did me and Seaway, and we also did a little small talk of Deshaun in part 1. Other than that, y'all please like, share, and subscribe to both of our channels. Mine's is Another Round JS. His is not the governor. His is Little Black Book 91. Okay, it's in my description box as well if you're on my platform and you don't know. Okay, but you should already. Anywho, we're going to get up out of here. Y'all have a great night. We love y'all. Bye. Okay, play. Thing act like it didn't work.